On today's episode of Let's Talk FGO, we've got even more news about the upcoming FGO Waltz Collab and stuff. Some of it may surprise you, but also we've officially announced the pre-release campaign for the Case Files Collab over in NA, and of course I will be hitting you with that super informative, not mysterious at all, pregame. And that's the show. And we could end it just there, except that wouldn't give you any of the information you want, so make sure to tune in. And, hello. Welcome to the StudiOmega Detective Agency. I'm one of your hosts, Omega. With me, as always, my fellow detective, Lucky.
Everyone, I hope you're enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka the Whodunnit. And while we here at StudiOmega like to bring you the latest FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events with the JP and EM version of the game. So anyone not wanting spoilers should get ready for Golden Week.
Soon! TM.
Soon! Registered trademark.
Expect probably several Whodunnit jokes in the course of this episode, just BT dubs. Also, I mean, it is one of the CEs, so anyway. But alright, with all our intro stuff out of the way, I would like to remind everybody that I am melting. No, this episode is brought to you by our patrons, like Adam Harp, Ahaka Comics, Akakazu Yume, Architect 10, Black G, Carlos, Qua, Ferris, Jeremy Vasquez, Jonathan Sandoval, Kylie Den, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kessler, Regent Raptor, Rogue Robin, Charvor, Shawnee P, some guy named Bob, Soda Son over Tuver, and Siren 23. If you like what we do and want us to do more, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early, lots of other goodies, and it really helps us out. Thank you for your support. Bonk.
Bonk.
And y'all should appreciate my sacrifice. My ginormous round pop filter is protecting you from the pops of my peas, but it means that I'm blasting my own face with my own incredibly hot air. Take that out how you will, audience at home.
Lucky shrugs, and he's just gonna pop the soda, so...
There you go, a classic Lucky can click.
Yeah, it's not an energy drink, it is a Coke. With 0 sugar, which means it has some weird substitute in it.
It'll probably melt your bones in 20 years, but it's not sugar.
Yeah.
Alright. Welcome to Let's Talk FGO. We have a show for you this week. It will have a grabby title that's possibly a little clickbaity. It'll have a thumbnail. It'll have all the stuff. All the things will be in it.
Classic FGO. Let's talk FGO.
So, let's start the show by checking in with everybody's classic kohai. Mesh?
Senpai! 起きてください.
That is right, everybody. It is time for Wake the Fuck Up, Senpai, our regular segment for protips. So, I got a little two-folder here, but, hey, just a heads up, we are still in a schedule crunch. We have to get a lot of things, like at least 2 extra events, I think, done before our anniversary. So, this means that the Case Files Collab will definitely start before the pre-release ends, first of all, because the pre-release lasts like 2 weeks. It's not going to be 2 weeks of free time, guys. But also probably before even the full week passes. So, pay attention to the news if you don't want to miss anything. Also, as an addendum heads up, the collab itself requires you to have cleared the LB3 intro. Not the whole chapter, not the prologue, the intro. So keep that in mind if you're, like, working towards getting in there and getting caught up on your story content. The boing of story content.
Boing.
Okay. But, that's most of our pre-intro stuff because there's no records and no achievements and no evils this week. We can call this the underachievement zone, aka man, the GUDAGUDA 3 rerun kind of sucks because it kind of sucks.
Listen, guys, I have literally done nothing in FGO but open it up and log in. That's it. I guess you can say I've taken a break. I guess maybe I don't know. None of the
theoretically. I mean, yeah. I've actually tried with some of my missions because I do maybe want some extra rare prisms because I don't know if by June I'm going to be able to buy all my Bella Lisa's, so I'm like, I want some backup rare prisms. Otherwise, I'm just literally mining it for... I'm playing the event to get the EXPs out of the shop because, holy shit, my backlog. Which will not get any better, unfortunately, for reasons we'll discuss later.
Mm-hmm.
But, the one regular segment we do have for y'all, though, is... Did you finish your master missions? So, they're pretty simple this week. Once again, I would argue that this is technically do the event, but also just do fucking anything. You need to defeat 3 archers or assassin servants, and then defeat 3 saber caster servants, and then, check this out, defeat 3 lancer rider or berserker servants. Once again, the extra classes are completely dismissed. Then you need to defeat 3 divine servants. I'm reading 2 lines at the same time. 3 servants with the divine trait, and then defeat 15 and then 30 humanoid enemies. So not servants, but any enemies who are humanoid, which are mostly servants. Do Nobus count as humanoid in this event? I don't even know.
What is even a Nobus?
No. So, yeah. There's your master missions. Hope you did them already. I think technically I'm missing the archer or assassin one just because of how this event exists. It's unfortunate. Anyway, let's get to the meat of the show, the shit you're all here to hear, which is the news. Skelegrams. I made a scary hand gesture when I said Skelegrams, guys. So, first is FGO X Waltz in the Moonlight Lost Room has an official pre-release campaign.
Ta-da.
That's what this last week will be, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't want to be like y'all lazy, but I do kind of feel like we're wasting time that NA definitely doesn't have, unfortunately.
I feel like, again, I know we made this joke, but I feel like a shot was missed here. I really do.
There was definitely an opportunity to get in the Case Files rerun, which would have been hilariously on point, and probably would have been easy because I'm sure the coders are working on putting Case Files in the NA version right now anyway, but I don't run FGO. I'm not making however much money it made that one year. So, what do I know? But the pre-release campaign is running from the 22nd of April to the 5th of May. I am sure that the actual event will start way before that for many reasons, but yeah, it runs a while. So, log in for Apples and SQ. They actually get half embers until 5/5, so that's cool. Just 2 weeks of free half embers. Thanks, guys. We also have a smorgasbord list of bonus servant stuff. So, some servants get the classic double expa, double suck. And also get half AP on all their interludes and rank ups. These servants are Altera, Artoria, just the vanilla one, Eurale, Helena, Ishtar, Jeanne and her altar, Mash, Maeve, Nero, Nidocris, Okita, Skahak, Hassan of Serenity, Shuten, Tambokat, and Ushi. Gee, I wonder who this list is. Spoiler, it's all the costumes in Waltz. So, they get special treatment. However, there's actually a list of bonus servants now, and it's much longer, and I refuse to write it down because it's huge. But speaking of events that have great bonus lists, because we alluded to the fact that GUDAGUDA 3 does not, which is a damn shame because OQ had a great bonus list, and honestly, the Case Files one coming up is pretty diverse as well. They threw in some extra shit. This is a big list. So, I think we have time as I check the mission clock. I mean, we're almost at 10 minutes, but we're in the middle of news, so...
I mean, we skipped a couple segments, so...
Yeah, I'll take a deep breath, and I'll run you down this list. So, for Sabers, this list includes Altera, Artoria, Okita, Gawain, Siegfried, Summer Maeve, regular Nero, but not Bride. Also note no Artoria altar in here. Rama, probably why he got a rank up. Lancelot and Bedivere. For archers, you are looking at Arjuna, Ishtar, Ashman, Calamity Jane, Tristan, Eurale, Kidgil, Billy the Kid, not to be confused with Billy Shakes, though he is also a bonus servant, Paris, and Nobukatsu, keeping in mind that I see no Nobu there's Summer Nobu down there, but not regular Nobu. Guys, can you spot what the possible through line might be here? In Lancers, you've got Karna, Skahak, Bryn, Liz. Once again, I mean, fucking obvious. Jeanne d'Arc, Alter, Santa Lily, Valkyries. In Riders, you've got Ozymandio, Maeve, regular. You've got Da Vinci Small, Alexander, Ushi. In Casters, you've got Scheherazade, Big Da Vinci, Helena, Rhyme, Nidocris, Shakes I mentioned earlier. In Assassins, you've got Jack, Shuten, Summer Nidocris. One of the few cases where both the normal and the summer is on this list. Hassan of Serenity, of course, and Fubukotaro. For Berserkers, you have MHXA, again, duh. Ibaraki, Summer Nobu, Kyokoyo, Tamakat, Kiyohime, And then for extra classes, you've got, again, Jeanne, Jolter, Abigail, Hokusai, Voyager, and of course, Mash will also be a bonus servant. Again, yeah, my personal through line in this is, obviously, this is all the costume servants, and all the servants who are in the list of characters for the Moonlight game, right?
Right.
But also, I'm noticing there's a possible theme of potentially various backup band outfits, as Artoria's in here, and so are all of her knightly boys. You've got a lot of, the infamous Curry Bros in here. You've got, like I said, Nobukatsu and Summer Nobu. Same with Liz, So I'm like, I don't know how many of these servants are directly relevant or not. FGO has definitely expanded on making bonus lists more inclusive than they have in the past for everything that's not a GUDAGUDA event. While yes, I am salty that this literally didn't have, this had like one bonus assassin until this rerun where they added a second. Like, it's very bad and constricting. Anyway, especially considering you don't even get bonus damage for this GUDAGUDA, do you? Is it bonus damage? If it is, I haven't hardly noticed. It is bonus damage. I, literally don't feel like I notice it. Maybe it's because I've been running a lot of nodes that involve riders, so I'm using assassins who suck anyway. It's rough. It's rough, buddy. But, yeah, this is a fucking long list. It's long. It's very long. We'll have to see how much it actually matters in the event, like I said. But, there's definitely some interesting themes here. Some stuff's going on. So, we are going to have a stream. An official FGO stream. It will happen on 4/26 GP time. It shall be hosted by the man, the myth, the legend, Mafia.
Hey!
And will include Helena, who is also Tomoe's VA, Nidacris's voice actress, and also Artoria's voice actress, because, I at this point, I almost assume that Aoka Kawasumi doesn't need to do anything else with her life but show up at FGO events and just accept the pile of money they give her. But also, she is actually in this event because, mysterious idol X alter. But still, I don't know. She's got a lot of free time. We did get a pre-release summon banner. It includes Jeanne and Shuten, but also Helena and Urale. This is a very interesting comp on there. This came with a couple of interesting rank ups, because a lot of people were wondering about stuff. Well, guys, guess what? We got it. Mission accomplished. We can all go home. We got a Jeanne rank up.
Finally.
Fucking finally. After 10,000 years. True Name Discernment has been upgraded. It now does its NP minus for anyone. It's still the same percentage, but it now works on all enemies. And it also reduces the enemy's defense by 10 to 20% for one turn and by 20 to 30% for a full 3 turns. Or possibly the other way around. That's the order all the sites I've looked at have printed it in. Like, they print in for 1 turn, then for 3 turns, and then those 2 percentages. But if it's the other way around, this is honestly kind of interesting. It's not quite the buff I would have gone for with Jeanne, but I do believe it has a purpose. Some people are slightly confused, but I think the general idea here is, because the NP down works on everyone now, you basically put it on a guy when you know he's about to NP. Say they've got full charge bar, say they're at the bottom of their break bar, and you're like, I know this motherfucker's going to NP when I break that bar, right? So this basically gives you the extra damage output potential to drop that enemy before they fire their NP, and even if they do fire their NP, you're going to reduce its effectiveness by a little bit. Presumably, you're not bringing Jeanne to a mission if she's not at least getting neutral damage, if not resistance to damage. So that 30% defense down will hopefully make it a little cushier so that somebody on your squad can tack it down. While also, giving Jeanne a decent source of alternative extra damage, because she and her friends are not usually known for their high damage output, but 50% defense down for 1 turn is pretty brutal. Remember, mathematically, that's the same as having a 50% attack up on yourself. Only it's for everybody who bullies that enemy. So that'll be pretty useful. I'll invest in that skill. Helena also got a rank up. Her Mahatma skill got an improvement. It now has a much lower cooldown. They lowered its base cooldown from 10 to 8, so I assume that goes all the way down to 6, which is pretty good, pretty strong. They're not afraid of dropping them skill levels. But also, it gives her a 20 to 30% battery on herself. This means that I believe between that and her third skill, she's got a full 50% battery, maybe? But for being an AoE caster who's kind of generically, NP and star focused, giving her extra battery levels is pretty good. On a decently low cooldown, too, so that's alright. I don't have a Helena, so I can't speak to how useful or not she is, but it does seem like it will help her kid out a little bit. Don't worry, guys. We're going to do a roundup after and talk about the remaining rank-up quest rank-ups, but we're talking about FGO news with the pre-release first, not technically FGO past. Also, in case you couldn't have guessed from the summon banner, Shuten and Jeanne were revealed as the next costume.
Not Onipunk, but
yeah, that
I'm
is
not
pretty
complaining.
interesting. Yeah, it's very funny. Well, Onipunk would have done it. Shuten's costume is a formal yukata, so it technically covers up more than her usual outfit, but I know maybe it's easier to spray. I do kind of maybe understand the logic. I do believe wasn't the Onipunk thing her anniversary CE look? If I'm not mistaken.
I do not recall, actually, now that I think about it.
Because I was thinking about that, I'm like, if that's true, that makes sense that they wouldn't integrate it into a different campaign, even if it's a really fucking cool look for her. And that is what the costume is in the Waltz game. But yeah, so she's getting a costume. I do believe this means that there is a non-zero chance that at some point Aoyuki's going to show up wearing this exact pattern of yukata.
I'm excited for this.
Because she's an eternal madwoman. And John got an incredibly formal dress thing with big poofy sleeves and stuff. And also a slightly weird headdress thing. Yeah, is it getting hot in your house? Because we're talking about shooting. But also, I got some bonus newsies for you. I want to shout out to a site that provided us with this info. Not just specifically us, but everybody. But an FGO site called Atlas Academy. I think it's atlasacademy.io.
Yep.
They data mined the latest app update a little bit and found some interesting code changes, some of which may talk about potential future shit for the event. They discovered that there's a function embedded in the code now to make BGMs different based on what costume is selected.
I really do hope that means that if you have a character with their costume on, so whatever their insert song is just going to play in the background now.
That is what I am assuming that is for.
Yes.
That also could have potentially useful for, like, plot stuff later, but for now it definitely seems like a way to put the music in the game that it would be awkward otherwise to do.
Yes.
They've also discovered data for an extra event shop tab, so separate from, like, missions and shit. Yeah, it is the CE. It is kind of the CE. It's not exactly like what she's going for, but it is along the same lines. I could see why they would decide not to. That or Raita was just like, I will draw the yukata, and everybody was just like, okay. Can't stop him. Though also, actually, I've just realized, wait a minute. Is this technically Onikira Shuten? She's holding that sake bottle like it's a club, and she's got the wand with her. Thoughts for later.
I think it is Onikira, yeah.
Facts. Knowledge. So they've discovered that like there's an extra shop tab that's being added or coded for, so that probably will be for all the costumes, because this is the first time we're having an event with so many costumes. They mined the new My Room backdrop if you want to look for it, and a couple of potentially interesting mechanics, but I won't get into that because I don't know if that's relevant. So, yeah. I mean, we all know that Onikira is Shuten, but that is the joke in character, is that nobody can tell. At least Ibaraki can't tell. Anyway, let's talk about those rank-ups from rank-ups 13. Because this was an interesting couple of days, guys.
Yeah, like right up into the end, I was kind of like, what?
We were bamboozled. Or many other things that Sarge says. Okay, so the writer was, shocker, Quetz.
Yeah,
this was actually kind of surprising.
I did not expect it.
We talked about that possibility because she did not have any rank ups or interlude buffs or anything, but it was not high on our list. So her charisma now gives her a thick 15 to 25 star bomb, which is larger than usual. I assume this is to make her more self-sustaining. Like spoilers for some of the future content. If there was a theme to this series of rank ups, I would say self-sustaining or self-contained was it. Like a lot of people were like, oh, resistance down. Well, resistance down serves a specific purpose. But you know what it does do, Lucky? It means that if you supply your own resistance down, you don't need support casters who give you, color steroids and shit.
That's true.
Do the color steroid yourself.
That's true.
So I think that is actually what Delightworks was going for broadly. It seems like they were trying to make some of these units who could not do their whole purpose without other people to give them extra shit able to do their whole kit thing.
Yeah, but Ketsu's a writer. She slurps up stars like no tomorrow.
Oh, well, no, she does slurp up stars, and she has a star gain skill, but she did not have a star generating skill, arguably, is I think what I'm going for. So her charisma now drops a very big star bomb that she will get, probably, if you pop her third skill. Because it gives
are you guys ready for just nonstop crits?
I think that's what we're going for. Like, now you can apply all of her buffs to herself, and she will hit big. You don't need anybody to give her stars instantly. She's got a battery on her third skill, so you can, if you have the right CE setup, you can instantly turn this into an NPBB chain with a high chance to crit.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, no, it's pretty brutal. I that's why I'm like, I think that's what they're going for. Like, a lot of these servants were already good, but this definitely, like, helps their kits out a little by making them a little more rounded.
Well, again, I think this definitely plays to the point of letting characters output bigger numbers without necessarily giving them bigger fucking numbers.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that. That's the last one, next. We'll get there. So, next up, we
go in order.
To mention him. Yan King did, in fact, get his buff. This is what a lot of people were calling.
Yep.
It buffs his NP. Now he's got even more damage, which is good on those. It also gives him, shocker, 20% quick resistance down on the enemy for 3 turns. But it also gives him 50% critical strength up for 3 turns. Flat. This should lead to a much better damage trail post-NP. So again, talking about some of that self-sustaining, this means that not only can he put out more damage output on a target with that quick resistance down, but if he crits, he puts out even more. And while I don't necessarily think that Yan King is inherently suited for looping, or all bosses are suited for looping either, he does have a pretty decent hit count. So I wouldn't be shocked if he could actually not loop his NP, but fire it off in short intervals, right?
Right.
Which would mean that you're getting stacks of that critical buff, which means he's gonna crit pretty big. And he's gonna have the stars to do it. So I think this whole thing just makes him a lot more consistent in his damage output. Again, without just doing big number, go fast. Like, obviously, yes, his NP damage multiplier is increased because he got an NP buff, but there are several characters with quick single-target NPs that have an interlude's buff worth, so, that's where we are. Excuse me. So, next up was the Archer, right? Sorry, I tabbed away for a second to get something. Yes, Archer. So, this was another semi-shocker. It was actually Moriarty. He was the Archer in question. Now, on the one hand, thank God it wasn't Gil. Everybody was really worried. But there are a lot of people who would argue that, if you compare to, like, say, regular Orion, technically, Artemis, or, Napoleon, there are archers who are less utilized than Moriarty. But let me tell you the context of his buff. It buffs his first skill, Free Shooter. Now, for the turn it activates, it allows him to ignore defense, so he will ignore defensive buffs. It also gives him 10 to 20 stars, which means he can always fire his second skill so long as your first skill is ready. Because that second skill, remember, is the one that's the battery that requires stars. It requires 10 stars, so no matter what, if he drops his first skill, he can use his second skill. It means you no longer require setup turns or rely on other characters' star bombs to work, which is, I'm sure, what they're going for. Obviously, the demerit is still there if you are out of sync with the skills, and so on and so forth. But I think now the fact that he makes allies evil, he has evil charisma, and he generates stars to feed his skill, like, you can do all the things with Moriarty without any setup at all, which is probably good, because there are times when you will set up your team to bring in a character to have them immediately do the thing, not do just, sit there for 5 turns or whatever. The defense ignore is also pretty interesting. I think with Ignore Invincible, that makes him very reliable at fighting annoying bosses. And then the last one, probably the most wildly debated one, the 4-star Lancer, was in fact Lalter. It was Lancer.
Hey, we called it. I called it. Yeah.
We did call it, but it wasn't her charisma.
No! Jesus!
No! It was her mana burst. What the fuck? The one skill I believe I said for sure was not necessary to buff because it was really good.
I think it is still isn't it still one of the highest mana bursts in the game? Just
yes, Artoria Alter's mana bursts, I believe, are both 55%, and they are bigger than most of these NP steroids. So what do they do, Lucky? They've changed it to Breath of the Red Dragon. It now works for 3 times 3 turns. That's right, you get three uses of this mana burst potentially over 3 turns. It also now gives her a 20% battery straight up. No skill level required. she gets a 20% battery, still on a 5-turn cooldown. So I assume the idea here was, once again, making her more self-reliant and consistent. She has a 20% battery. You can now put a K-scope on Lancer Alter, and she can fire her NP right away. And 5 turns later, she's got another 20% to go. And you can use that battery without worrying about using up your mana burst turn, because it lasts for 3 turns, 3 hits. So, yeah, it's spicy. I like it. It's very weird. I assume that means that at some point they are, in fact, gonna buff her charisma, because, first of all, you buffed Quetz's charisma, which was already not necessary. It was a fucking 21% attack up for everybody for 3 turns. So, like, a little love to low-rank charismas, but also, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
So, I know those aren't the buffs that everybody wanted, but some servants who are in high demand did get buffed. I do think some of those were necessary. And, like, as much as, Moriarty wasn't bad before, I do appreciate the fact that he can now use all his skills if he feels like it. He doesn't need anybody else to help him. There's that classic meme of Moriarty wanting to use his battery skill. He's like, Moriarty, you have to charge your NP right now or you'll die. No stars. Guess I'll die. Like, if you've got his first skill ready, there's no problem with that anymore. So it's good. But it's interesting. That said, I did absolutely call that they were saving some relevant rank ups for the event. They've already used 2 in the pre-release, and I suspect we may get even more when the actual event launches.
They're doing a lot of these rank ups in a short amount of time.
Yeah, FGO knows what they're about. I for one welcome it. That was always for when they started doing rank up quests, that was always my complaint, was that they waited for million downloads events or like anniversaries and shit to do them, and they would only do like 7 at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was such a slow buff process. Or you had to wait for somebody to write a fucking interlude, which, as we said, is actually kind of a work-intensive process for the most part.
Yeah.
And not to be, mean or anything, but some of those interludes are absolutely wasted by being just quartz. I like quartz, okay, right? But it's just one fucking quartz. And you could have put a skill buff in there. I can still get my quartz, and you could have fixed things. Anyway.
Honestly, just both of those are make it a quartz and an upgrade. Fuck. That's what we do for fucking strengthenings. Now.
Yeah, that's what we do for the rank ups anyway. So yeah, it's all right. Oh, actually, by the way, I do want to bring this up. While some people were wondering about Vlad, I do want to throw this out there. Vlad actually had, he's gotten 2 NP upgrades. His first NP upgrade is actually kind of scuffed. I assume because he was an arts berserker, his actual original starting NP damage interlude, his damage percentages were lower than usual. Like, they were actually deliberately hobbled. So his first one only put him back to his normal level. It's not until he gets the second increase that his NP damage output is actually like what it should be for a rank up NP. So it's not actually that crazy that his NP got ranked up twice. There are a couple of characters who got their damage output hobbled by the fact that FGO was like, you're gonna do a lot of stuff, and we're scared of that. Lucky, I'm going to tangent a slight amount, but I think this is an interesting game design point to compare FGO to other things. We've talked about this a lot with the way certain game design has been handled for tabletop RPGs, right?
Yeah, like you were talking about what are developers scared of, right?
Yes, like there are cases of balance. I've talked a little about this with my D&D group. Like, why are Rangers awful? If you actually give them all of their abilities, they're not bad, but for some reason, some of these abilities, their revamp abilities, are supposed to replace their old abilities. Like, those weren't okay anyway. They just needed to do more. We've talked about this at length with Star Wars as well. I'm like, why are you mechanically restricting this thing that does nothing? Are you frightened, game developers, that player characters will have access to an upgrade? They have access to as many upgrades as they want. They just need to spend experience, which is infinitely easier to come by because most people will get at least 5 of it a session.
Yes.
Not counting if they actually accomplish things, So, FGO, conversely, has completely flip-flopped on that. I do actually believe when the game was originally made, they were afraid of balance stuff, right? Like,
oh, yeah.
They switched. There were pre-release data that Emiya's NP was going to be arts originally, which would have made a lot more sense with this kit. But they didn't do that. They switched it to Buster, which had its own niches. Also, fair warning, everybody, I'm fighting a sneeze, so if I stop suddenly, that's why. It's probably my open window. But anyway, they changed it around for like balance purposes. They're like, it's going to make it way too easy for him to do his NP. And then, 5 years later, they're like, fuck it. You can make his NP arts if you want to. We don't give a shit. Because Emiya's a friggin' launch unit. You can get him free to start. Like, it doesn't fucking matter, right?
Well, I think it's also kind of to the point that FGO has, like, literally 5 years of player data and looking at players and what they do with servants. And they have come to realize that's all, like, no matter what we do, the players are going to find some way to overly optimize this and go for it. So just, fuck it. Just make sure that everyone's viable.
Yeah, we will make our old units as complex and busted as our new units. Fuck it.
Yeah.
We're not worried about losing our money because you're still gonna roll for servants, you animals. So, and I honestly think that it's a healthier mindset for game design. That FGO is just like, we've been doing this for 5 years. Who gives a fuck? You can do double rank ups. We don't care.
Like I said, I do think they Like I said, they want to try and keep all their units viable, and sometimes they have to come out with some crazy ass shit.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I do think that you've definitely hit you've hit a nail on the head, right? Where, FGO, we've talked about this before, collects loads of player data. They know exactly who you're grailing, who you're ascending, who you're getting extra bond levels with. They track all that stuff because all that is stored server side. This is also why FGO can usually help you, like, roll back an account or do lots of fixes if something goes wrong. They've got all your data archived on servers somewhere. And it's probably a lot of fucking servers because it's been a while since we've had a serious outage problem.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you'd think, what with COVID and whatnot, there'd be a shitload of people sitting at home playing on their phones. So I do believe that, yes, they can use that information, like you said, to finally tune what players are doing, how they're using it. Like, I bet they know exactly how many players have actually leveled up Jeanne's true name discernment skill. It's probably not a lot. That's probably how they were like, yeah, that's the bad one. We gotta fix that one. I wouldn't be shocked if they could track, like, how often skills are used. Like, that's probably a pain in the ass to look at the data for, but I bet they have it. So, they can really fine-tune a lot of this shit and actually figure stuff out. Now, I will admit, that is a thing that tabletop games obviously don't have as much access to, right? We're comparing apples to oranges a little bit there, but it's a similar design ethos in the game design sphere that, like, Delightworks is genuinely not afraid of certain things, because it's a PvE game. What are they going to do? They're going to make you feel like you've got a busted unit? That's just a plus.
Yeah. And that's the thing, with PvE, they can always make the enemy stronger.
Yeah, they can. We're going to have some fun later. But yeah, It's an interesting scope design. So, yeah. That's our rank up news. It's not the rank ups you wanted, possibly the ones you needed right now, especially since some of these characters are bonus units. Funny how that works out.
Mm-hmm.
But we do also have one big bit of NA news. Fucking finally. Yeah, we've talked about how Oniland wasn't super well balanced for that.
Oof.
Big chungus. So, in North America, in the EN server, they have announced Lord El Meloy II's Case Files X FGO collaboration event pre-release campaign. Say that 3 times fast.
No.
I made that for the audience, but I appreciate you yes-handing me, Lucky. The pre-release campaign will run from 4/25 to 5/9. Once again, I would like to reiterate, in no world does the actual collab start on 5/10. That's not how this is going to work, guys. So be aware of the calendar date. Anyway, once this campaign starts, you get to log in for 7 days for a total of 7 gold apples. It's an apple a day, basically, so if you miss a day, you just miss that day's apple. Also, actually, I think it is technically login totals in there. Like, I don't know if this campaign runs textually or it runs the full level. But the bonus servant list is announced. We'll basically cover that later between a couple of other bullet points, and like I said, I have scripted out the pregame. It actually wasn't super hard. But several servants during this campaign period will get the double Syuk and the double FP. I shall list them out for you now. They include Saber Alter, James Moriarty, funny how that works, Lancer Alter, the Iskandars, the big one and the small one.
Small.
Da Vinci, just the big one. We don't have the small one yet. Though I bet if they do the rerun, she will be a bonus unit. Of fucking course, Waver. That would be ludicrous if Waver didn't get bonuses in his own event that he headlines.
Listen, well, I better see a lot of waivers in my support list, because I know you got them. I know you fucking got them.
Yeah, Waver used to be cool. Before Merlin came out, he was the primo one. I think he even beat out Tamamo.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put mine on my support. I know I will.
I will.
That, and also because I gotta be real, some of the caster selection's not great. You got Rhyme, who's all right, but then you've got Babbage and Billy Shakes. But you also have access to Jack the Ripper and Emiya Assassin. Kintoki Berserkman, not Writer Man, is a bonus, but also so is Paul Bunyan. I hope you got that one. And Antonio Salieri. So they all get your extra suck and extra friend points. By the way, since the event will actually probably coincide, you can actually make better friend points if you just use bonus servants for once, you animals. Also, sorry, my nose is a little runny today. I probably should have taken something before we got here, but, you know, what can you do? Nature. So, I'm going to read this one very carefully to y'all, so you don't misunderstand me. All Embers and Training Grounds will be open until 5/3. Not half AP.
Okay.
No half AP. Just every class is open every day. So, you can definitely farm the EXPs you need all the time, but there's no half AP, which saddens me deeply. Instead, we get half AP on free quest clears through London. That's right, just London.
London.
Yes. Now, obviously, that is assuredly because this is, in fact, the Case Files event, but y'all want to talk about, like, useless fluff? This doesn't really do anything. You need to be caught up to Lost Belt 3 at least started before you could even play this collab. Have you guys not done the London free quests? Well, here's your time. You got half AP. Go for it. But it's not good for farming because it's only first clear, unfortunately. You were saying, though, Lucky.
I forgot.
Okay.
Don't mind me.
It's fine. But, yeah, so we also do have a summon banner. It is Waver and Alexander, so if you don't have a Waver, roll right now. You'll get one. It's great.
Great.
But, there's also Alexander on this, which I assume you have NP5, but you never know. Those 3 stars can be tricky.
Sometimes.
They can be tricksy. We will have a pregame after the break. That's it. That's the news.
All right, and that break is going to be... Let's talk FGO mailbag. Mega, what? I actually completely spaced. What'd you say? Do you want to do a full, or do you want to stick to an hour?
I mean, if we go too long, we might be able to cut it off. But I think this is time for Flexa mailbag, because there's only 26, and like I said before, I think at least 5 of those are just, like, well wishes, so we can probably power through all of these.
Alrighty. Then let's do that. So, everyone, sit down, get comfy, grab a drink, and prepare your ears. It is time for this week's Let's Talk FGO Mailbag, the segment where we read your all of the above. I was going to say something, I was like, fuck it. Anyway, as Omega said, we have 26 suggestions, and we're going to try and power through them all before an hour. I'm not even going to set the timer. I'm just going to look at the clock. It says it is a time, and when that is a time plus 1 hour, I'll check again and see where we are. Anyway, we start right. Meow. And this first one comes from a nervous wreck due to finally beginning her dream of becoming a freelance artist. Hey, congrats. They say, hey guys, I just came by to say hello and hope that things are going well on your end. Have an excellent day, you two. Well, I will say, I just came back from the doctor today. They have decided to put me back up to full duty. I'm still in a little bit of pain, but I'm on the road to recovery. So, good times all around. Thank you very much. We move on. This next one comes from Scholar of the Soul's Fire. A very, very deep topic, I am sure. They say, was reading the short-lived manga Double R's when this came to mind. Off the top of your head, which servant would you like/trust to teach you ballroom dancing, and which servant would you like to be your dance partner? Keep strong and carry on through the Backstreet Boys reunion, and all the start and despair. That almost got me. It almost got me. But, there it is. For ballroom dancing, that's very specific.
Yeah, I don't really...
Like, honestly, like
who has the ballroom dancing skills? Who would I trust? Mary does probably ballroom dance, yes, that is correct. I suppose that would work.
Yeah, it would have to be some sort of, well, Anastasia's not really European, but it would have to be some sort of, like, near, like post-medieval European society servant. Fuck,
Does the Zart, the Big M, does he know how to ballroom dance? Or does he just play chamber music? You don't know. That's not ballroom dancing, Devilish. I'm not going to say that Matahari doesn't have rhythm, but... Well, actually, hold on. I know we're talking about historicity here, but canonically, Jolter did force us to ballroom dance once.
Like, honestly, to be fair, like, wouldn't any servant, like, Honestly, I'm pretty sure that any servant could probably teach us how to ballroom dance if they had a mind to. Like,
they are supposed to have imported knowledge of the modern times and also be, superhumanly fast and shit. Even if you have agility E, you're still more dexterous than, any normal human. I suspect that there would be some servants who wouldn't be caught dead ballroom dancing.
Exactly, yes.
I don't know, Mel might be snobby. Ballroom dancing isn't ballet. That said, I would actually not want Melt to teach me ballroom dancing because she would take it way too fucking seriously.
You're probably, and, not gonna lie, she got them pointy feets.
Yeah, it's combined with the fact that she is almost literally a prima donna in the classical sense. I don't think that's a good wombo.
Like, normally I would say John, but John likes to harp on the fact that she was just a peasant girl.
Jean would absolutely, fucking shark you into it. She would be like, oh, I am but a humble peasant girl. I do not know how to dance. Like, she'd make you teach yourself and dance with her.
Mm-hmm.
Through some kind of big sister reverse hypnosis shenanigans. Like, in that respect, I think you could actually, once again, get Jolter to buy in more. She'd be like, oh ho, you're going to dance with me? I'll do it. I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Oh, no. This is what you do. You go tell Jolter that John was going to teach you to dance, and then she will teach you to dance. That's all you have to do.
I also do want to throw out there, I'm pretty sure because there's a rhythm game that may or may not be canon, I know MASH canonically knows how to dance. And it is a waltz game, so I assume she can waltz.
Honestly, yeah. And the more I think about it, I'm actually wondering what the story in the collab's going to be.
We will see. It's gonna. I hope it's a little wacky and weird. Like, I get the feeling it's gonna turn into some kind of. Is it gonna be like fucking Dancing with the Servants? I don't know. Do they have dance shows in Japan? I bet they do. Well, I once again, I assume we're actually probably gonna get waltz transliterated because it's kind of important and it's probably not fucking hard. Yeah, it'll be weird if we don't.
Like I said, as long as we're not gonna try and put English subtitles to all the fucking song lyrics, we'll be fucking fine.
Which I am sure they won't bother with. Like, it's not necessary.
It's not.
People listen to J-pop without subs.
That's me. But we talk about dance partners. Give me Tomomo. It's like, I know it's a kind of a cop-out answer, but I love my Tomomo. I'm gonna put her in a fancy European dress.
She will appreciate it.
We will dance all night. Who's your dance partner, Omega?
I'm thinking. Remember how I said that some people wouldn't dance? Mordred's on that list. She would not.
She would not. Dragons Don't Dance. New movie by Tom Bluth.
Oh, I think Aresh would die if I tried to take her ballroom dancing.
I don't think that would stop me, though.
No, that's a good one. That would probably be a good dance. She's got the fancy dress for it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with Aresh. Aresh is a good choice.
Solid choice. 10 out of 10. No. Well, honestly, if I was to see Mordred dancing, she'd be in the fucking, the suit and jacket.
Yeah, no. Mordred would lead, which I gotta be real, I don't know how to ballroom dance, so I'm not opposed to. I just think that it might be a little awkward for everybody. Fran was also in my list of possible good dance partners, because I do feel like she'd kill a dance floor. She doesn't have to say anything, she just has to dance. I scratch my head. This is just a general statement, by the way, that's not on anything in particular going on here. I just had to scratch my head, because it's hot.
Hey, my copy of Nier Replicant has arrived. Huzzah!
Yay!
I don't know if I was slight tangent. I didn't think it was my original order said it wasn't going to arrive till next week, but I guess they found one in the back or something.
It happens.
Now I gotta decide what I want to stream for tomorrow. Anyway, we move on. So thank you very much for this. This next one comes from the Dormic Xion, currently struggling with work motivation. That is the 9 to 5 life. They say, hi, Lucky Omega. What is your favorite FGO memory? FGO memory, huh? I feel like I need a better definition of what an FGO memory is, because my first shot is just to be all of Babylonia and Solomon. Just that timeline was the greatest.
Yeah, that's just a really good period, because we've been in it since launch. I was going to say that definitely that run-up. I think all of the Solomon release is just because it was such a big deal for us as players, as a greater community, right? Because it was the big finale. We're going for the final boss. It was the Merlin banner launch, which was a big deal for a lot of people. Then there were the fucking raids, watching those pillars go down, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a big deal, and it was very community involved, and it is a very pleasant memory to just think back on the times and be like, man, that, you know, everybody was talking about, counting those numbers in the Discord and stuff, watching them go down, getting in there, getting your wins.
Mm-hmm. Getting mats, you know, then the story beats, the music, the speeches, just everything.
Actually, finish the story, yeah.
Yeah, no, like, you know, leading into the new fucking year with that shit. Oh, God, ending credits rolling.
Yep. No, it was a big deal.
It was a big deal, man. So, no, like, yeah, no. Like, cause, fuck, Babylonia, like, the Babylonia into Solomon was only, like, what, like, it was only a few weeks apart, wasn't it?
Yeah, because it was Christmas, because Ishtar, Babylonia, and then Saruman, and then Salomon. So, yeah. And then into New Year's right after. Yeah, it was a big deal.
Are we getting it soon? Do we actually have more news on the Solomon anime yet? I haven't actually seen some.
No, it's just soon TM.
Soon TM. Very well then.
Allegedly.
Alright, but yeah, allegedly. Well, who knows? Maybe we'll get something on the stream. Please!
I do believe they have sketched out at least 15 minutes for FAF Talk, so.
I guarantee you they're going to I wonder if they're going to just show the second Camelot trailer again.
They're going to show it 5 times again.
Alright, moving on.
The exact same trailer. Anyway, let's keep going.
Let's keep going. This next one, thank you very much. This next one comes from Walking to Dreamlands with Abby. They say, any funny rituals that work for you lately? I've been rapping and I got really good rolls. That's great.
Do the roll, rap.
No, I'm not rapping. Hell no.
I can't rap.
At the moment, no, I can't necessarily think of any funny rituals. The most funny ritual I think I could say is ignoring the mounting numbers in my bank account and purchasing, which I have to stop.
Everybody, say it with me now. Skip gang!
Skip gang!
Skip gang! Raise your fist for Skip gang. Show me those Skip gangs in chat. Nobody's typing. I'm deeply disappointed. I hate all of you. Somebody raised their fist at least. Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I do. Skip gang.
Fist of solidarity.
To be fair, my Skip gang ritual is like, that was after several years before I joined Skip gang, so that's relatively new.
Yeah.
Actually, like, and somebody said skipping is hard. Actually, I find it, like, it can be frustrating, but a lot of the time it's more relaxing than just watching another fucking Mapo Tofu spin up. I'm just like, okay, is there anything good? Is there anything good? If it flashes me to the end screen, I'm like, fuck, it sucked. But it would have sucked more if I had to wait like 5 minutes for it to suck. So, here we are. Skip gang.
Here we are.
Let's keep going.
Keep moving. Thank you for that. This next one comes from the Eternal Storm, who says, question. When a servant is invoking their noble phantasm, do you think they're using their native language and we masters through some form of magecraft just interpret it in such a way we can understand them? Anyways, thank you for both your time and hope the both of you are keeping healthy. No.
That is a good question.
I don't think so. Because remember, Amiya speaks fucking Japanese, but fucking Unlimited Blade Works is in English.
Yeah, so technically summoned servants have, you know, the Babelfish or translator microbes excuse. They're supposed to just have modern languages crammed in their brains, which is why they get to speak Japanese, because they're in Japan.
Mm-hmm. You know, relevant knowledge.
Which, that reminds me, did anybody ever comment on what? Is it ever alluded to that all, like in Fate Zero, that all these foreigners are speaking Japanese as well, or is it just an anime assumption? I don't even remember. Did anybody comment on that? Seems like a missed detail. Anyways, but yeah, no, I think the chants are just the chants. Most Noble Phantasm names are written in such a way that they speak their appropriate name phonetically anyway, or they speak their names often in English, because it's cool. So, yeah, but to answer your like the meta context of your question, just like, does Magecraft auto-translate for the master? I think technically no. I think your servant just speaks in your native language usually, or at least in a normal language they have access to.
Yeah. That's what I believe. But we have nothing really else to say on that, so we only have our conjecture. But with that, we shall move on. So thank you very much. This next one comes from Now I Am Sleepy, the goer to bed. Very well then. No question this week, just wishing you well and good luck on your roll. Same to you. I hope you had a good sleep.
Enter the slep.
We move on. This next one comes from Do Chibi Nobu's Dream of Chibi Okuta. That reminds me of some images I've seen. But they say, evening gentlemen, sorry for asking a question that you talked about last week. Had to fight off a COVID shot, so that sucks. I've heard a couple people having to deal with that. Anyways, do you guys have a ritual that you do to try and get the limited servant? And if so, how good and effective is it? Remember, don't kill too many Chibi Novas in the event. They are being overhunted as is. Good luck on the rest of the week, and good luck on getting Maho Nobu. Lucky's ritual is usually bust out the credit card and ignore the mounting numbers. as I have said.
Yeah, I'm about to say, when I heard you chuckle reading that, I'm like, I know what Lucky's thinking about. What he's thinking is his ritual is the plastic. I mean, sometimes if I'm getting really in there, I'll, like, you know, find a cool little catalyst image, like a little phone blessed thing. I'll, you know, get something in real life. Like when I rolled my Da Vinci, I do believe I did it in front of an actual art book I have that has a print of the Mona Lisa in it. Right? Sometimes I'll play some music that helps. That may also just help me relax psychologically. Careful.
Sorry. Okay.
But my actual ritual is just usually I stockpile quartz and pray. Don't spook me, Kirei. We don't really have to say that anymore because the spookiest he gets is Mapo Tofu, and even that might have been rotated out of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting a lot of examples in our Discord chat right now.
Yep. But that, as they say, is that. So thank you very much for that. We have said what we said, and now we move on. This next one comes from El Taco, who says, has there ever been a time where you're losing constantly in a game, and when you decide to not take it seriously, you win? I'm pretty sure there is an example, but unfortunately I cannot come to one off the top of my head.
I also cannot give a specific example, but I will say yes.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that's one of the...
That's like a Zen thing, like when you relax and accept that victory and defeat doesn't matter, you're actually good or something. Like, stressing about winning can make you shittier.
Yes.
But if you want to tell me all the times that stressing out made me shitty, we're fucking huh?
But thank you for that. We move on. This next one comes from currently six Dresden file books deep, Suna. Let's see, what is that?
Got some work to do, son.
You do. Gotta carry that weight. Let's see, actually, shoot. Can I even remember up to 6? No, I probably can't.
I could if we took a second, but I won't.
I'm offended by this image you have posted to me, Tirano.
Well, he did just say that this is his ritual. He only spends the tickets at summer, so I think that tracks.
I think that does track, but still,
damn,
I'm just
dude.
all like,
but yeah.
Damn.
As a guy who occasionally hoards tickets, damn. We've got some bras in chat. If you want to see these images, support us on Patreon. Get in our Patreon chat. Watch shows live.
Mm-hmm. But they say, hey, Lucky Omega, how are things going? Hope you had a good weekend. Y'all have, use future tense. And I wish you both luck on your future roles. Those are going to be a while. I'm telling you that right now.
I mean, I have like 12 tickets for the Case Files banner.
Listen, Lucky broke his streak for those 10, so he's just dead. He's just dead inside. I think that might have been one of the reasons why I'm just like, fuck this fucking thing, fuck. You
need the juice.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, this event will give it to you, but we'll talk about that later. Soon.
But thank you very much. We're gonna move on. This next one comes from the Dragon King.
He sends his regards.
But they say, what Fate merchandise do you guys own? I have a Tamamo poster and a Melt Little pillow. Not that kind. Do you actually have any? What Fate merch do you have?
Well, I mean, if it counts, which it probably does, I do own physical copies of Extella and Extella Link, and I did buy the special edition, so I've got like the little acrylic standee, I got a couple of cloth posters and stuff.
Yeah.
That's it for me. That and I have the first CE art book.
Alright, Lucky's list is a little bit longer. Alright, so, Lucky has the special editions of Extella and Extella Link, which come with, the special edition, so, cloth posters and stuff. I have what is this, an 8x5? An 8x5 of, little key visual of Heaven's Field 1 and today's menu with MEF Family. I have a scroll of Fate Apocrypha. Lucky's literally pointing around the room as he looks at things. Let's see here. I have 2 John figures, 2 Tamamo figures, a Saber Altar figure, a John Altar figure, a Skahawk figure. I feel like I've just forgot something. What did I forget? Oh yeah, a Medea acrylic stand, and a Shootin' pillow. Yes, that kind of pillow.
It is indeed that kind of pillow. Yeah, I don't really have a good place for figurines, but some of those acrylic standees are pretty sick. I wouldn't mind some of the merch coming over here. I said in chat, I'd love to get a Musashi Bean, but, they're almost always sold out.
And technically, I guess I'll say I have the special editions of Heaven's Field 1 and 2. I guess technically that's... No, I guess that... It's a special edition. The special edition bits are merch. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm always planning on getting...
Some people also might count DVDs or Blu-rays themselves as merch. I don't actually know if that's what people mean.
All right, but yeah, that's that. Yep. A lot of the time, I get this stuff from when I go to cons. I'm just all like, because the con mood gets you. It gets you. It's like, oh no, this thing is completely overpriced, but it's here and it's now, and I can buy it.
It's basically the souvenir syndrome. Like,
Yeah.
when you travel, you'll find yourself wanting to buy dumb little shit that doesn't mean anything, just because you're like, dude, I'm in London.
Alrighty. But thank you very much for that question. We're going to move on. This next one comes from King of Apples, who really glad they whales for a key to alter way back when. Question. What are your opinions of gameplay and story segregation? Real term. What was I trying to say that segregation isn't a fucking real term? I don't get it. For a while.
No, gameplay. They used the wrong terminology there. Gameplay and story segregation or separation is a trope name.
Of the madness enhancement skill. And are berserkers nowadays not real berserkers?
First of all, second question. Of course they're real berserkers. Don't be dumb. What are you, a dirty primary who's like the lore can't ever change? Like Nasu hasn't made up 5 different things about fate in the past 20 years?
Hashtag not my berserker.
Yeah, no, so to be less sarcastic about it and more serious, of course berserkers now are real. It's because they've realized how... Yeah, I know, I said that was Irony X saying dirty primary, but I mean, it's, sometimes you gotta say what you gotta say. You gotta get off your chest. But no, hey, guys, it's called having fucking character writing. Guys, what's Hercules' character? What is it? What's his character as a berserker? Grar. Grar noises. Grr. Yeah, Robin said it in chat. That's it. That's all you get. Like, yeah, there are a couple of like interesting notes in certain routes, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, he's a literal flat character. He is a block of meat who is a obstacle. He is an object for the characters to overcome, like, 90% of the time. And yeah, he's still pretty rad, but, like, he doesn't have a character arc or nothing. So, especially for the way FGO is structured, if you want to make these berserkers have, like, character arcs and actually, like, work for these players to get invested in them and to want to spend money to roll them on banners, you have to loosen up those restrictions a little bit. That, and mechanically also just tying it to being a buster buff is a little weird with stuff, but, I do think that, like, they've done an interesting thing, and actually, like, for the most part, it's not actually that segregated. They just make characters who have Madness Enhancement EX the ones that are, like, most normal. That or they go low,
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think the only exception to characters which have, like, higher Madness Enhancement and don't have some kind of, like, impediment or weirdness in their speech is Cat, who is, like, rated at, like, C. And, I mean, have you talked to Cat lately? She is actually just a lunatic. I mean, she's voiced by Chiwa Saito, so part of that is a given, but, like, nah. She's just... Yeah, well, so they stretched the definition a little with, like, Madness Enhancement EX and, like, Berserk for certain characters. I think they did a good job making Berserkers into actual characters when, like... obviously, like, Lancelot was way more pathosy written in Zero than I think Herc was for the most part, but also, Ura Butcher, suffering, etc. But, like, think about, like, Lubu in the original Extra. Like, he's kind of cool, but he's mostly a non-character. I don't think it's until you get to his, Extella side story, where you get his internal monologue, complete with his mental Chen Gong, that, like, he actually gets characterization. There's a lot of work open there.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like, it's like after, doing a few berserkers, they're like, oh yeah, this is kind of flat. Let's do something.
Yeah, think about all the berserkers that people don't really know or like. It's old guys like Eric Bloodaxe or Darius III who are designed to be classic Fate berserkers and just make rar noises, and you don't really have a good idea of what they're like.
Alright. Chat seems pretty.
Chacha just... Well, I mean, with Chacha's voice actress, I'd love to hear her make tiny Chacha squeak noises and not try and speak, just kind of like... It would be like comparing, like, a big scary dog to, like, a chihuahua.
I mean, she does, like, scream and yell, like, during her attacks and stuff. It's kind of funny.
She does sometimes just say her name like a Pokemon.
This is great. I love Chacha. Alright, but I think we've said enough on that. So we're gonna move on. Thank you very much for that. This next one comes from Master Contemplating the Eternal Question, which has played NA for a while. Summer Musashi or Space Centaur? Ishtar. I don't know what I said there, but it wasn't Ishtar. Or both. Both is good. Yeah. But they say, hey, Lucky Omega, hope you're both doing well. We doing aight. First, I'd like to apologize to Lucky over the spring song question last time. I was sincerely unaware that you still hadn't gotten a chance to watch it. So I hope you expect my apology and hope to get to watch it soon. Man, I really do hope that they'll fucking announce the fucking release for NA here soon.
Well, I know we keep doing this comparison, but the Demon Slayer movie was announced for a street date in theaters, and then like a month later it'll be streaming. So,
yeah,
hoping that news.
Good.
Fingers crossed.
But they continue. My question to you concerns Marsbury. Do you think they have some part to play in the future given its obscurity despite being so pivotal? It seems rather sus that he summoned Solomon specifically to fight the HDW to wishes for lots of money so he can build a system that will let humanity have a chance against Gatia, who has a plan in the works for many millennia. Sure, he's shady, but the whole thing seems far too good to be a coincidence. What do you guys think? Again, I apologize, and I hope my comment didn't distress you too much. Hope you both have a lovely week ahead. Honestly, I'm in the fucking hands. He's a fucking mage. Mages play weird games. They really do.
Like, Marsbury is supposed to be weird for a mage. Like, that was the emphasis we got out of Babylonia Episode 0. Like, there was the question of was he murdered or not, but the emphasis seems more to be that, no, he actually, like, when threatened to, like, dismantle Chaldea or whatever, he committed suicide because he was like, no, I believe so much in my plan that this will work that I don't even need to be here. I don't give a fuck. Like, he is, in terms of mages, I would say, Marsbury is almost like a true blue idealist. Like, he believes in the plan so much that he was literally like, I'll fucking die for this plan. Don't think I won't. Like, unfortunately, I do think that makes it much more likely that, yes, for the most part, he will remain in the past for FGO. It's possible we might get some kind of resolution on his character arc later in the Lost Belts, maybe? But we also already are planning to get a little of that. Like remember, some of the cryptors are supposed to be like his personal students and handpicked people, right? Like, we know he's not perfectly not shady because, man, he has in fact done some shady shit. But I don't know. We'll have to. I expect much more. We're going to see him characterized through his absence or his passing, right? Mm-hmm. Rather than through his actual presence. Well, yeah, Whodunnit was his apprentice. We'll see if he comments on that at all in Lost Belt 5. I don't know. It's 2 parts. So on the one hand, there's plenty of room. On the other hand, I think they're busy during those 2 story arcs that are actually 1 story arc, you know? Mm-hmm. But I believe we know he personally recruited Python. I do also believe that he recruited a lot of the other members of Team A as well. So, like I said, I think that's how we'll see him. Now, will we not necessarily see him in, like, flashbacks and stuff, like they did in the anime, you know? They could do in other content. We've talked about how I would love to see an FGO Zero, right?
Yeah.
Actually figure out that Holy Grail War. You know, like, much like Ogomeri appearing in Case Files, and I'm actually quite convinced that they picked that arc of Case Files so that they could have Ogomeri be a cameo, right?
I'm pretty sure that FGO is funding all sorts of shit that may not be directly FGO related.
Yeah, so, like, obviously that would boost the appeal to the FGO audience. The fact that you can be like, yo, Ogomeri's in it, you know? So, like, I'm not unconvinced they couldn't show him in those flashbacks or in alternate timelines and stuff, but no, I think he'll stay out of it. I do want to throw out there, like they bring up the thing about summoning Solomon, but also fighting Gatia. I do believe that it's canonical that, his catalyst to summon Solomon was one of Solomon's rings. Cause Solomon, ditched one of them to show how cool he was, basically. So, I do believe that was the catalyst. So, the rings are also part of Solomon's clairvoyance, so, like, if you want to start making conspiracy boards, go for it. We love those.
Alright, but I think we've said enough on that. I don't have anything to add, so we will move on.
That's a big chunky question.
Yep. This next one comes from Moon is currently working for the smug Amoloe's sister and best Ojo-sama of all time. They say, question, good evening /day. First that. Lucky and Omega. If you ever get the chance to become a pseudo-servant, which historical/mythical fairy do you want to possess your body? Apparently it depends on your wavelengths and personality compatibility. I feel like we've answered this one, but it was like an eternity ago.
Yeah, I gotta be real, though. I don't even... Like, I'm trying to think, and I'm like, I feel like I've definitely made answers to this before, but I don't have any ideas right now. It's almost 10 o'clock at night, guys, and like I've said, for some reason, probably because of my open window, I'm, like, super snotty tonight. You may hear me... In the live show, you'll probably definitely hear me blowing my nose off mic. Hopefully that'll get edited out of the final product, so... Lucky. Ideas.
I don't know.
Thoughts, feelings, emotions.
Yasuke. Fucking Yasuke. Fucking Black Samurai. Boom.
There you go.
I like Japan. I like swords. I like the Sengoku era. I... know way more of that. Yeah. Like, again, like, honestly, if they just gave me just a full-on fucking Yasuke fucking servant, like, not even pseudo, I'd be fucking happy. Like, I really haven't got the chance to talk about it, because, but God bless fucking LaShawn Thomas. He does one of those things that I yell at people that they should do. If they want something in their fucking shows, to do it them fucking selves.
I should clearly be possessed by either somebody who is ancient Egyptian, or, it should be somebody related to some form of children's game. Is there, like, a famous chess player who can possess my body? Chess has squares, guys. I love squares.
I'm pretty sure there's, like, some god of games up there or something. Or
I actually wouldn't be shocked if the Egyptians didn't have something. Those guys were crazy with their deities.
Yeah.
They also invented dice. Clearly, I will be possessed by the god of dungeon dice monsters. Anyway.
Hang on, now. Let me see here.
By the way, polyhedral dice are fucking old, but if anybody gives you shit about, like, people making, like, weird dice types, don't let them. Gary Gygax basically reinvented dice in the 70s. Like, nobody gave a shit about polyhedral dice other than D6s until then. They were an educational tool, as I vamp while Lucky looks stuff up.
Yeah.
I know some people complain about quote-unquote proprietary dice, but yeah, dice are fake anyway. They're fake news.
Fake news.
I mean, I could pull some dice out of my dice box, which is eternally sitting next to my computer. I've got my D8s for Dragon Breath up in here. All right, he's got it.
For Omega Best, the Egyptian god of entertainment. Someone beat me to it. Anyway. So, thank you very much for that. We move on. This next one comes from 408, who says, "Hello, MMO Lucky and Cat's Game Omega."
Hi.
Cat's Game. They say, "Hope you have a great weekend." Wow. They use the wow emote there.
Which they have access to because they're a member of our channel. Join membership today. You can leave emotes in mailbag, like a cool guy.
Yeah, they've been a member for 7 months, so they have a shitty purple star.
That's really not transparent, because I'm very lazy.
I really need... Motivation,
it looks very jank, but it's one of those 50-50 things, right, Lucky?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I feel like I embrace the jank. Fuck it, it's janky. Other times I'm like, this looks fucking awful. I want to fix this.
Anyway, hope you're having a good weekend as well. We move on. This next one comes from Zed, just Zed, who says, "Comment. Sorry about the tongue twister last week. Couldn't think of a way to reformat the question. Sent the message on Monday, so no real news on my end, but hope you two are feeling well. You doing alright? Question. So given the current upcoming JP event, I'm curious, what are some of the servants you would want to get a full-on idol a la Mixa, M-I-X-A, aside from Liz, since obviously she is an idol, so the full alt is unnecessary or likely guaranteed. Elizabeth Japan SSR, please. And your wife is a choice, because they are obvious inclusions, and thus implied when not even stated. Well, to be fair, I already got a Tomacat, and I'm like, I'm kind of happy here.
Tomacat with a bold costume.
Very bold.
Idol Phantom.
Real talk, where's my Ren idol?
It's true, I could see it.
Like, especially like just like a Resh.
Idol dress.
But let's see.
Do it.
She could do it. I totally believe in her. She can reach your hearts and then trap him in a cage. Let's see here, but let me think. Also, I had... But yeah, like, honestly, easily, where's my fucking Marie idol?
That's another big one, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just Vive la France. With, of course, her backup dancer team, including Mozart, on the music. Mary Idol with angry and funny piano man included. Suzuka
Idol Astolfo.
Funny.
Like,
hold on, I want to see if if Robin is okay after you said that.
Oh, right. Robin is
Robin all right.
Idol! Stop! Wait, oh no, I think a fucking also would make a great idol.
No, it would. It would be extra funny, considering that Astolfo's voice actor is
Liz,
who's also Liz. That would be hilarious. Though obviously, I do want to shout out Ruby Okubo. Her Astolfo read versus Liz reads are actually different.
Mm-hmm.
Liz has much more aristocratic leaning. I couldn't necessarily see Liz going full oh ho ho, but like she's in that ballpark, whereas Astolfo is much more Yahoo!
Genki.
If Liz said Yahoo, I would be like, Liz, are you okay? Is something wrong? Do you need a drink? Idol Ibaraki would be hilarious. She wouldn't know what the fuck is going on. But she would kill it in the crowds, in the mosh pits. Shoots it in Ibaraki like baby metal style. Get some EGL look, do some metal singing, thrash some shit.
Yeah, I think those are the two off the top of my head is Astolfo and Marie.
Ibaraki all baby. Shooting all metal. Correct. I can see them wearing the matching t-shirts now. Ibaraki just says, I'm baby, and Shuten says, I'm metal. She's like stolen some of Kentoki's sunglasses. I mean, that obviously means that Raiko would try to be an idol too. Let's just throw that image out there for the people at home. The people in the back.
That's dangerous. That's dangerous. Do not give right to that power. Oh god, no. Redrop already did it. Fucking comma idol.
Correct. Also. Great. And that fulfills our Sakura rule.
Yes, it does. Someone post me comma of judgment.
I'd like to see some commas of judgment in the chat. Much faster on that poll than when I called for Skip Kings in chat.
Architect, why are you having a gay panic for comma of judgment? There you go.
We missed. The gay panic is also probably frequently used. It's a very powerful... Missed! Got another popsicle!
Honestly, I really wish I could find the thing that we originally got our gay panic emo from, because most of the people in here recognize it, but god, sometimes I just want to be like, hey, reference to this for the gay panic. Because our gay panic icon is just a icon of a very small Edelgard, just with the mouth open, just mind empty, no thoughts.
Yeah, it's much like that one guy who draws Big Titty Raiko drawings or MHXX and tucks comical shootins in the background. It was just a little doodle that the artist tucked in the background. I believe it was for a female Byleth abs image.
Yeah, there was abs. I remember that.
Which is causing Edelgard's, gay panic. But it just spoke to us so strongly in the moment of Three Houses. Kyo could do it.
Yeah, I can believe it. Oh, wait, fuck. Well, listen, if fucking Tamamo is doing it and Kiyohime is doing it, then we gotta get fucking Osakabe Hime doing it. We have to.
No, you know what Osakabe Hime does? She's a dead mouse or a Daft Punk style. She puts on a helmet and DJs.
I can see that.
There is no way she'd be caught dead on an idol stage.
Yeah, I know, but listen, I enjoy bullying cute girls, okay?
Virtual idol, yes.
I'm about to say, BB's already kind of an idol, in a weird way.
BB does have idol energy at times.
She does.
The helmet, the helmet is just a giant Musashi bean helmet. I don't... well, okay. Murasaki is very chuny. We've discovered this. Guys, you know what? We're gonna be here all day. We gotta get out of here. We gotta pull back. We gotta roll on out of here.
My stomach just growled really, really loud.
Let's keep mailbagging then.
Yeah.
Alternatively, Lucky lets me know when he wants to pull the eject lever. But let's go. Let's get out of here.
It's Noom. So we're gonna Noom, guys. So thank you very much for that. Very good discussion. I like it. We'll keep going, but we on a schedule here. So this next one comes from a master who made the abyss blink first. Powerful. They say, hey, Lucky Omega, hope you're having a good day. My question this week is, at the height of their abilities, with no outside interference or influence, and no crippling weaknesses exploited, who would win in a duel? Musashi or Okita? May the gacha give us your future roles. Real talk, I say Musashi. Mostly because Mostly because Musashi lived in a time where swordsmanship and stuff was much more prevalent, got more fights, thus more experience. Okita was actually alive in a time when swordsmanship and stuff was actually failing and not practiced as much. It was seen much more as a... What's the word I want to call it?
It was almost like a hobby thing at that point. It was not for most people, it was not a practice for life. I do want to clarify before anybody types any angry comments to Lucky that the real life Okita was actually a student, was a prodigy student of a swordsmanship style, and was a major kenjutsu instructor for the Shinsengumi, but it was still much more about formal schooling and drilling than it was about Musashi's self-invented style of basically anything goes style swordsmanship.
Yeah.
Musashi is out here to win fights.
Yeah.
Also, I would like to throw out there, as brilliant as Okita's swordsmanship is, right, with the triple strikes and stuff, Musashi's style in FGO is defined as the style of becoming zero, becoming void, of just go ahead.
No, you can finish. You're probably gonna say
I was just gonna say just the nature of having no strikes become all strikes kind of thing.
Yeah,
picking the perfect attack for every moment. So it would be certainly interesting. But yes, I do believe Musashi has the edge. Yeah. If not just because Okita would totally fall for the boat war thing.
Listen, fucking... Yeah, no. I actually read about that fight. That fight was actually over pretty quick. It was kind of wild.
It's also probably super fictional, but...
Yeah.
It's still a great story.
Gay pin. I'm going to find that fucking... I'm just going to type in F !byleth and type abs, and I'm going to see what I fucking get. I'll find it.
Well, I mean, if you could go back in the timeline of Twitter, I definitely retweeted the OG.
Yeah, I know. That was literally 2 years ago, I think.
Correct.
I'm not going... Listen, I started cleaning up my Twitter because I was all like, alright, look, you're horny on main. Everyone knows you're horny on main. I don't need to post this much horny on main shit. Let's clean this up. I got through fucking 2 weeks and I'm just all like, Jesus. I retweet a lot of horny shit.
I mostly retweet art, but do also occasionally post other stuff.
Is it bad that I know exactly what doujin that's from?
Not really.
Because I do. It's a good one.
It's a great reaction image, yeah.
Yeah, I love Harame. It's Bare Hand and Harame.
They've got 4 names.
Mm-hmm.
I follow them on Twitter, in fact, because they sometimes just draw good art.
Good art.
And or retweet good art, because it's good.
It's good. Anyway, moving on! This is what comes from the guy who has Reshko as his only 5-star, but I'm not complaining. You are a precious and good person, and I hope you have all the world's blessing. Because if you're okay with having 1 5-star, that's something. That's something. I should totally give... Do I want to give the 6 digits later for people? Nah, I'm not. Fuck it.
They can fucking find it.
They
know who the artist is.
It's Bare Hand, and trust me, you'll know. It's the Jalter one.
You'll figure it the fuck out.
You'll figure it the fuck out. But they say, there's a read more on that. I should make sure. How does King Kassan's ability to apply the concept of death into something work? Does it increase the something chance of dying, or does it make something easier to kill? If they're immortal, does it just mean they lose their immortality? Thanks in advance, and I thank you for all the FGO content you've been giving me in my first year of playing the game.
Well, hey, welcome to the game. Hope you have fun. Stick with us for many more years.
Please. Now, honestly, on my side, the concept of death is something that is nebulous, because this only part that we really actually see this applied is on Tiamat.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that Tiamat works is since she is basically the progenitor of all life, as long as something is alive, it can be said that she created it, therefore, as long as something is alive, she cannot be killed. Because if you kill her...
Because if she's dead, then how did she exist to create that thing, etc.? It's the paradox protection of independent manifestation, basically.
Yes. So, what I like to believe is what Grams did is basically just did a temporary blocking of that, I would guess, divine authority of what or what not, somehow interfering with that ability.
Yeah, using the power of his granditude, he was able to... be like a carrot. You don't have the concept of death. Therefore, I give you the concept of death. Here you go. Now you know what death is.
Mhm.
And then we killed her.
We killed her.
We booped her real good.
Yeah. Something that he can only do because he basically embodies the concept of death.
He is death.
He is death. You know, the Reaper, fucking, what was it, Azrael? I can never remember.
Azrael is his NP name, yeah. One of the names for the Angel of Death.
Yes. You know, so it's not necessarily something that you can really quantify in mechanics terms. It's just something that could not die, now can die. And presumably will fucking go over the world as a whole.
Yeah. It is important to remember also this is separate from his actual, like, NPs and skill powers. He doesn't ever do his NP chant once in the Babylonia anime or in the Babylonia story. This is just an ability he uses to be like, you're in the underworld, huh? That means you should be dead. Let me tell you about how dead you should be. Metaphysically. Metaphorically, I'm going to tell you how you should be dead. And then it just does the thing. The anime does make it I think the best way to describe it is that, think of it with the lines of death perception, right?
Yeah.
If you have the eyes, you see the lines of death on things. These can even apply to conceptual things, right?
Yeah.
And Shiki herself says it. If she can see it, she can kill it, even if it's a god. So, the aesthetics of that scene in the anime are very much like, almost like Gramps is drawing lines of death on Tiamat. He is introducing the concept of death, the terminal point, to Tiamat, who is previously immortal.
Omega, I need you to vamp for like 3 minutes. Go!
I mean, I can vamp probably a lot about that scene, because that scene and whole sequence is really rad. Somebody in chat has, in fact, dropped the thing about Gramps just fucking eating a Neo-Lamu. Like a boss. Like a Chad. But, yeah, no. I mean, honestly, there's not... Yes, Shiki did, in fact... Shiki killed appendicitis once. If you've never watched the Kara no Kyokai movies, do it. Scrub. But no, what I was going to say was, honestly, Gramps' questions are very interesting. We've never really got into, like, what Gramps does. Oh, no, guys, if you don't know what Shiki is doing, like, Shiki's fucking rad. She stabbed a guy's mystic eye out once without killing him. She killed his eye, his mystic powers, which was also like killing the future. She killed appendicitis. She's killed, fairies and other shit. She's killed many, many people. She's killed zombos. Lots of stuff. Anyway, what I was saying about Gramps, yeah, ghosts and tangible souls. She's killed those that is already dead. It's nuts. But no. What I was saying was, Gramps is really weird. We do not have a lot of good lines on, like, we don't even know who Gramps is. He's just the first old man of the mountain. He's been in the Valley of Death and shit, and he has, like, religious things going on. So we don't really know exactly, like, who he is, what he does. So the nature of some of the things he does in Babylonia are very ambiguous, and we can't really answer them because the answers haven't been given. But
all right, I'm back.
Based on the discussion we've just had, to conclude now that Lucky is back, basically take a look at what we said already. It's how we going, and other than that, we just don't even fucking know.
We don't.
Literally don't know. All right, we're powering through this. Let's move on.
We're moving on. Sorry, now my copy of Nier has arrived, so now I have Nier and Nier Replicant, so it is good. So, thank you very much for that. We're going to move on. This next one comes from a master extremely worried about his financial prospects, and April isn't even over. Mood. Dear Lucky Omega, how's your GUDAGUDA 3 going? I have not left home. Like, screw this. Mine was great. I rushed a bit early in, but all was fine. Also, it feels amazing to be able to use Medea's MP and actually do damage. Question, do you guys have a favorite foreign servitor? I like them all, but I have to pick. It'd have to be a Hokusai. Her gameplay is fun, and I especially like the lore of her father and daughter together forming the servant. Katsushita Hakusai. Katsushita, yeah. Take care and good luck. Honestly, I don't know. Abby's up there for me, but I'm really buzzed about fucking Yan Guifei. Just that hot fire.
Yeah, see how that shakes out. I also agree, though. I love Hokusai. She's great. The double thing is great.
Mm-hmm.
It contains a classic allusion to the one and only Big C that is not dead, which can eternal lie. All that stuff. And also just some really fucking good art, guys. Literally art in motion. Damn.
Good
Okay,
time.
good. We've answered it. Let's go.
Powering on! The next one comes from, does Rascal drink of Shuten in a kimono? That is the second Boner Girl Senpai. Well, actually, I guess, Well, yeah, no, I think it's Bunny Girl Senpai. I don't think people are referencing do robots dream of the League of Sheep.
I mean, when you say does Rascal dream of X, no, it's definitely an anime reference, not a fucking Philip K. Dick reference.
Yeah. Hi, Lucky. Hey, Omega. I hope things aren't going too bad for you, as it seems to be the case more often than not. I live a life. My question is the following. Can an object become a servant? Yes. Because I can't think of a case where this has happened yet. Look at points at Voyager.
Yep. Voyager, Rhyme is a book. Galatea is a statue.
Like, I kind of want to move Rhyme out because I think Rhyme is literally the concept of nursery rhymes.
Well, yeah, it's true. Technically, Rhyme is actually a reality marble, but
yeah. But no, yeah, Galatea is a statue. Voyager is a space probe.
Enkidu is technically not a person. That's true. He is a human noble phantasm.
Clay.
There are a couple of other humanoid noble phantasms whose names escape me at the moment, but it's a term Nasu thought was cool, so he's used it a couple of times. I do actually believe Galatea may count as well. But yeah, no, it's more likely than you'd think.
Mm-hmm. But like I said, we could probably sit down and maybe pop out a couple more, but whatever. We're gonna move on. Thank you very much. The next one comes from Cyrus21, who says, "Hey guys, hope Lucky is doing a lot better." He is. I have a question for you both. I know Omega already designed a Princess Kaguya foreigner servant, but who do you think would make a good foreigner? I've seen fan art and designs for Don Quixote as the foreigner, but I would like to hear from you both. It doesn't have to be detailed, just something that would be cool. Anyway,
okay,
good roll.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut them off that ending. The Don Quixote thing is, that strikes me immediately as like, alright, this is some kind of super nonsense reach bullshit, Cthulhu bullshit, and I'm just like, okay, alright. Not that I want to I don't want to be shitting on people's ideas, but that's one of those, like, this is clearly a very specific, personal, like, focused thing you've done that's very weird. Which, spoilers, as a person who's done that occasionally, those kinds of things don't always resonate with everybody.
Listen, Lucky is still screaming to the heavens for his big titty One-san shib. But
yeah,
that's all
Lucky
I got.
would like a shub related one.
I don't know why I always say shib. It's shub and the Goran. I think it's because I keep smashing shub and the nig part together in my head.
The black goat of the woods with 1,000 young.
Yeah.
I mean, let's listen. Nobody knows how the fuck to say Cthulhu. Literally, I don't think HPL ever wrote down what you should actually call it. I've heard some people say Cthulhu, like a nerd.
Nerd.
We can be reasonably certain it's a hard C, but it could be silent, much like the Chthonians. You don't pronounce the C.
I always pronounce it Chthonians for like the longest time.
Yeah, the problem is that's an actual Greek word where for some reason you don't pronounce the C. I also used to pronounce it Chthonian or Chthonian. But no, the C's fucking silent for some reason. Why is the C there? I don't fucking know. Anyway, I mean, I love the Hastur mythos. I don't actually know if I want them to shoehorn it into FGO. So we'll have to see how that shakes out. But in terms of foreigner designs that are possibly way too specific, Omega has a real brain boner for the Great God Pan by Arthur Machen, which is the origin of both the King in Yellow compilation by Chambers and eventually the Cthulhu Mythos by H.P. Lovecraft, which involves a half human, half cosmic hybrid lady who has a lot of freaky powers and does a lot of creepy horror stuff that would be pretty cool and interesting, I think, for a foreigner servant, even if she's quote-unquote fictional.
I need to actually read that. And also, I actually bought the complete works of H.P. Lovecraft on an audiobook. I need to sit down and listen to that one day. I really do.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm probably never gonna have the fucking the Lovecraft boner that Omega does, but I would like to be able to at least understand what he's talking about.
There's a lot of really classic tropes in there.
Yeah. But anyway, we must move on. This next one comes from Chaldea is getting kind of cramped, huh? Yes. Question for the week. Considering there's 2 former beasts, 3L and R, and that's 4 residing in Chaldea and hasn't imploded yet, do you think one more will tip the scales? So...
Short answer, no. Also, second answer, that's some interesting math you've done there, sir.
Yeah.
It is technically correct, but very funny.
Like, also, you gotta remember, L and R, they're immature and have basically downgraded into servant graphs, basically. I don't know, I guess if they...
I don't know. I don't think they're trying to be overcomplicating this. They're just like, yo, there's like 2 post-beasts in here, mathematically speaking, and I'm like, all right, nerd. But to answer your actual question, no, it won't.
Nope.
We also have several other characters who are potential beast candidates, just FYI.
And probably some people who probably just, you gotta be careful of in general.
Oh, we have a lot more, literal or figurative murder machines in Chaldea anyway as well.
Yeah. I mean, have you met Shuten?
I would like to remind everybody, because some of you are huge losers who haven't completed Shimosa, that canonically, Shuten has rooted around in your guts for kicks. Anyway, let's go.
Moving on!
4 or 5 left.
I can do this. This next one says, shouldn't it be Let's Talk FGO mailbag for Friday the 23rd of April? Yes. Yes, it is. I misspelled it. Thank you for pointing that out on a segment where I have to read that out loud so everyone may know. You are a treat.
You're a real winner.
Background. God. You don't have to put a clarifying word in front of it. You don't.
Lucky, I don't think this is for the audience. I think this is just for us, so I don't think you have to read that part out loud.
I'm gonna read it out loud. I'm gonna. And then I'm gonna complain about it. Background. When I was asking last week on Nature of Beast, the reason I put question marks was because I was not sure if I understood them correctly and was getting clarification on what I thought was correct. Question. Anyway, wait, okay. Question. Anyways, what do you think is the best thing to spend money on with FGO or related materials in terms of value? What is some good merchandise that will repay the makers and developers if not quartz pack? Figures and art books looks nice. Blu-rays would be amazing, but they're so expensive. I know they had watches, those feel super luxurious. Listen, the best way to support them is to just buy fucking quartz. That goes literally directly to the Lightworks, who then pay whatever cut to Type Moon and whatever episode it is. When you start involving merch like figures and books and DVDs, that money starts getting divided up into everyone who made that product possible.
Yep. Now, technically, depending on how you buy quartz, if you're just buying small amounts, then sure, blow a bigger percentage, because technically Apple or Google, whoever does, also take their cut, right? So if you're spending 99 cents on quartz at a time for some reason, just buy a fucking set of pins or acrylic stands or something. You will actually give the Lightworks more money. But in terms of bang for their buck, yes, no, the quartz pipeline is the best one. I feel like there was a question assumed here when they said if not quartz packs. I don't think we've ever said that.
No.
If you like the game, buy quartz. I just acknowledge what you're spending your money on, folks.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to support and, rep your thing, yeah, buy other things. But like I said, the most direct way is just in quartz.
If you want to show, I mean, I guess the question is they're talking about in terms of value. Does that mean for you or for them? For you, yeah, sure. I mean, I would say Blu-rays are probably, a fairly decent bang for your buck. Yes, they are expensive, but they're also, high quality and eternal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not necessarily eternal. You could scuff them up if you're an animal, but you know what I mean. But in terms of showing support, it doesn't get any better than Saint Quartz, guys. Your only other option for showing them you mean business with your money is usually when they do limited release merch runs for events and stuff. That's when they know that people are interested in this stuff and willing to drop some change and that they make bank on, which is arguably to some people, just as quote unquote scummy as, spending on premium gacha currency. It's one of those things where to support the developers, get in there with what you like. But if you're really questioning about what's the best value for you, only you can answer that. Maybe you are more comfortable spending $20 to $50 on a mid-cost figure, or spending $100 to $200 on a really expensive figure, because figures are wildly different in price ranges.
Well, it depends if you're getting the Chinese knockoff. The Chinese
there's that too.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're buying Chinese knockoffs and 3D printing, and mold steels, then you're not giving Lightworks any money. Just spoilers.
Yeah.
So, that's just a thing you gotta think for yourself and you gotta deal with yourself. I don't think we've ever necessarily cautioned any people against buying Saint Quartz. First of all, we'd be huge hypocrites. But second of all, I've always had this kind of conversation that while it may stimulate similar areas of the brain, and Dallas can, I'm sure, weigh on this with his, his knowledge of hypothetically how brains work. His fake knowledge, because none of us know how brains work, but, He's the one taking a master's program. But no, I do think that like gacha stuff like tickles the same zones of your brain as gambling. I do not think that the way gacha games are constructed is literally gambling. It is not the same as going up to a slot machine and spinning because for a lot of reasons. Like for starters, you don't actually necessarily like it doesn't necessarily, pay out the same like ratio, nor is it as easy. It's not as easy to spend small but steady on FGO, I think. Like I said, most people, you don't do the equivalent of like feeding like $1 or $5 into a slot machine to do gacha. Usually if you're spending money on gacha, you buy either exactly enough to get like a paid guaranteed SSR thing or like to top off your thing, or you're buying like fucking 80 packs if you can, Mm-hmm. So, like, I think that their business models are slightly different, even if they appeal to the same thing in person. Somebody's even in chat is just saying they only buy 80 packs. I expect a lot of people do.
That's what I do as well.
And, hey, guess what? That's how FGO makes fuck you money. That's how it works. I've been poor before, so I haven't bought 80 packs, but usually when I want to spend quartz, it's like, fuck it, dial me up an 80 pack. I'll live. And also, I mean, the way I do spending, yes, I also will live if I'm buying an 80 pack, I'm buying an 80 pack at a time where I'm not gonna like run out of fucking food money if I buy an 80 pack. Please buy responsibly. But if you're debating what of your disposable income goes most to Delightworks, it's quartz. Like you said earlier, it's quartz.
All right, but I'm gonna cut it off there. We haven't spoken much about that. We only got a few more, and I would like to get them done, even though we have gone over an hour. So, thank you very much. We've
gone over an hour. Well, we're almost at 2 hours of showtime, but I feel like I don't care.
Yeah,
we'll edit out some of this. We did some vamping.
Like I said, we only got
these last few.
We got 4, and one of them's just well wishes. So here we go. So thank you very much for this. This next one comes from I think that was a solid anime. Good job, Lucky. Good job. Pat yourself on the back. But they say, "Hi y'all. I was recently informed that the QPCE goes on your caster slots for your support list. I had Mona Lisa on my writer's slot, and I was promptly switched to Bella Lisa. But now I'm questioning. Regards." All right, so who told you to fucking put your fucking QP on your caster?
Yeah, I have always seen Mona Lisa traditionally in your writer slot. That's where most people do it. That's where I keep mine,
Like here's the thing. You take that to the QP mines, and the QP mines are all caster. What kicks the ass out of fucking casters? Writers. It's it's a no-brainer. No, keep it on there.
Like, technically, I could see, because of the way Bella Lisa works, like, putting one of them on a caster and then one of them on a writer so that your friends can pick from both. But, yeah, no, it should... Usually, I've always heard common wisdom as it goes on your writer. There is something to be said for, like, Oh, hold on, I'm seeing this in chat.
Oh, it was
Robin is apparently ranting about this to people in other places.
No, because, like, here's the thing. Like, for events, yeah, you can like totally throw it on like your cast or whatever, because guess what? Generally, people are going to be pulling things from your event list.
Yes,
but on your normal things, like if people are going to
on non-event, I mean, I'll say this, right?
Listen, fucking. Here's the thing. My fucking 10. What do you mean my 10 gets useless with Bella Lisa?
Well, it's not useless because if you pick it, you get way more QP, Robin.
Yeah.
I guess the question is, like...
Yeah, okay, here's the question. Why are you trying to make QP off story?
Well, no, he's saying that he needs a writer support in story quests.
I mean, a 10-10 Drake was still, like, even with, like, no CE, I still think that's pretty baller. Fuck.
Yeah, no, like, I mean, like, 10-10-10 I don't think is useless. What do you want to NP first? What are you, some kind of scrub lord? You going fast, huh? You gonna be looping, huh? Nerd? Huh? I mean, I get the argument, right? But caster's not a better slot anyway. Because then, guess what? Support casters who are usually way more important to story comps will be stuck with dogshit CEs as opposed to the usual common knowledge on those is to put them with, team support CEs like you usually see people throw on like 2030s or something on there. Alternatively, they are a good home for your Bond CE because usually you don't use that caster skills for anything, so you can put them in the back of a support setup when farming embers.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick, but I would definitely say that Rider is the place to go normally. And like, if your friends are complaining that they don't have story support, then just switch them around for them. Don't be an asshole to your friends.
Legendary Grief Doctor with the burn. Oof.
With the sip.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's right. But no, unfortunately, I have to agree with legendary the Greek Doctor, who says in chat, "Learn to go fast without relying on support." Then is my answer, which is what Lucky tends to do.
I mean, Lucky, you've always said you don't give a shit about support. You just do your own comps anyway.
Yeah. So I will say my opinion is biased. Because I got a fuck ton of servants, guys.
Yeah,
I got
I'm about to say you're. I don't want to say you're lucky because you fucking fight the gacha on a daily basis, almost. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But well, they are Robin. They are trying to help. They're trying to help you farm doors, the thing that most people consider is way more annoying and is way more reliant on the CE. Yeah, the meme comes back. But yeah, no. Lucky, you're in a arguably privileged position by having a lot of opportunity. Me as someone in the middle ground, I usually try and fish for I'll look for good story supports, and I'm very, very bamboozled when people in events don't have good combos of servants and CEs for those sick event bonuses. But in general, no. I mean, I don't care. I mean, the odds that all of my friends are repping Bella Lisa or Mona Lisa on my writer slot is actually not high. Like, I actually usually do find other writers. You can find other supports as well. Usually you can find somebody repping an alter ego or something in their support slot as well. You know? So I guess the question there is if you're concerned about what your friends have on their support lists, get better friends. I know I did. I still have like 10 slots left, by the way.
I'm at 30, and I really haven't had a complaint about my friends list for a while. It's quantity. I mean, not quantity. It's quality over quantity.
Robin is just saying, yeah. There you go, Robin. You've done it. You're living your best life.
Do it.
Just if people have a support setup that annoys you in particular, kick them out. Find better friends. Anyway, we got like 3 left. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's fucking go. I should have actually yelled that on stream yesterday. I kind of did it in this hard whisper. Listen, I had a great time streaming Final Fantasy 14 yesterday. Yeah,
I know. You did. Not that this is shocking, but I was kind of wondering how long you'd go, but you went for like almost 7 hours in the middle of the night.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that tomorrow.
I was busy with a lot of stuff, so I checked in with live chat and saw that you were killing it, but I was not able to show up myself.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk about this tomorrow. But this next one comes from the numbers. What do they mean? They say, apologies for my previous mail. I'm hearing numbers while farming. They put that in quotes. GUDA 3. This will be a redo of the question. Oh no. What is the worst thing to happen to any city? Invasion of terror, zombie invasion or nuked, or 4th and 5th Holy Grail War? Sorry for the misunderstanding. Okay, this does make more sense, but at the same time, I'm just like...
It's still a dumb question, and I don't care to answer it. Half these things are fake, and also, Grail Wars aren't really that impactful on towns. The 4th was only really bad because of some shenanigans. Like, okay, the 5th had some quote-unquote gas leaks that killed some people. That's not like any of those fake things you mentioned. And it's definitely not like that one real thing you mentioned, which may also be possibly offensive considering the context.
Maybe.
I don't know. I feel like some people could be offended by it. Anyway, Lucky, your own thoughts on this question.
I don't have any thoughts. Mind empty.
Mind empty, no thoughts. Let's read the next question. Go!
I do want to read out this take by a person. If support lists exist to sit in the back line, I don't need it, is the final word I'll say. Very well then, live that life. Don't expect other people to live it though. I think that's the best thing I can say about support lists. If you don't like them, get rid of them. They're there for not necessarily, like, they're not necessarily there.
It's interesting. The support list is not for them. It's for, if you're looking for supports on your support list, I should phrase it this way, make sure my tenses are correct. It's for you, not for them. So if somebody has a support list that doesn't credit you, get rid of them. I have, I have talked about my prejudice against the Scotty conspiracy because it's not fucking helpul to me. I understand a lot of people have tried to convince me that no, Omega, I'm not a bad person because of the fact that Scotty is in my support setup. And I'm like, I'm not making a value judgment, you Morans. I'm making a personal utility judgment. Your support setup is not very utilitarian to me. I don't care if you feel like a better person because you rolled Scotty, or you feel like you have to justify how much money you spent on Scotty. But like, it's not for me. And listen, I'm taking names for the case files. If I see Scotties and not waivers, you're going on a reverse list, by which I will kick you off my friends list. Well, if you don't own a Scotty, she's like double useless. Anyway, Lucky, sorry, I cut you off a little bit there.
I don't know. Robin's just...
The chat is ornery right now. We have been going for nearly 2 hours. A lot of them have woken up and are getting out there. Somebody's asking if Scotty on all is okay. That's probably better. Like, all's a weird slot.
Yeah.
If you want to try and farm for extra FP or whatever, go ahead. I don't really know if any of the bonus servants are really goo for Scotty, but...
Like, usually it was when I see Scotty in the fucking all slot that I'm just like, I am fucking incensed, especially when there's usually maybe like... Especially if there's a caster that gives like a drop or some other like nice bonus. I'm just like, why are you doing?
Yeah, it's my issue is in places like OQ, and I'm like, listen, I know Rumi Okubo is paid off by Big Scotty, but I would much rather see one of my many offensive caster buddies here, so I can actually farm some waves fast with like double Shez or something, as opposed to this single Scotty who doesn't help. Oh, yeah, no, like, if somebody, like, has just a level 2 mash or something, and they ask for my friend support, I'm like, sure, jump on the screen.
Then I come back to, like, a month later, and they haven't logged in for 2 weeks, I'm like, you're gone!
The cycle of the newbie. Alright, we got a well-wisher, and then we got a chunky one, so let's go.
Right, let's fucking go! This next one comes from Killian King, who says, less of a question, more of an observation, but when we got Moriarty's recent rake up, I noticed that he was indirectly, this thing, I cannot speak. But, okay, so.
Deep breaths.
Alright. Less of a question and more of an observation, but when we got Moriarty's recent breakup, I've noticed that he has been indirectly distancing himself from Sherlock gameplay-wise. What I mean that is, with his newest upgrade, he is now his own star bomb for a skill that needs, but no longer devours his stars for. His upgrade also gives him his own defense ignore buff on top of an info purse, which it already had. And his Noble Phantasm provides a damage decrease prior to damage. All he needs is some form of self-crit buff, and he will no longer need Sherlock skills and MP for himself. Have a good weekend, as mine will be eventful with my second vaccination on Saturday, my parents' anniversary on Sunday, and my birthday on Tuesday.
Well, happy future birthday, my dude.
My dude.
So I want to say, I think some of the phrasing of this observation is a little weird, like...
Yep.
There's some almost like presupposition that Moriarty needs Sherlock.
Yeah.
I think the much better way to phrase it is that Moriarty was jelly of Sherlock's kit and is stealing it for himself. But no, interesting observation. It is accurate. Moriarty and Sherlock do technically have some similar buffs now, and it means that they don't need to run in parallel if you want to get them out there.
Typing on his phone because he's putting out a tweet because he likes showing off stuff he buys. All right, but I have no comment on this because I have neither a Sherlock nor Moriarty, surprisingly.
My Moriarty is still not max ascension, so I haven't really used him a lot. Hopefully I'll be able to fix that in the pregame time.
Yep.
Also, by the way, speaking of things that Lucky has bought, I do want to shout out to Near Replicant. It is currently trending today.
Dude, I actually looked at it. I'm actually really fortunate. I actually looked on Amazon again because I heard someone talking about the PS5. I was like, is there actually a PS5 version? Am I dumb? No, there's not. But they're saying for the PS5 because, that's the new hotness. But no, it's already fucking sold out. I'm like, Jesus. But last one. This last one comes from Writer of Things who stares at blank pages. That's what we like to call the block. Dear Termination, Lucky, and Charmed Omega. I feel like this should be reversed. First and most importantly, I wish you guys a great week. Secondly, I got nothing, so bye.
Bye.
And that's mailbag. We done!
I took that time while Lucky was doing that to switch to our other account and retweet that from there because I want people to know that maybe you can stream stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway. Lucky, do you feel a particular need to take an intermission?
I do not, but I've been watching the Crystal X art stare at me for like the past hour, so I'd be good to take a break so I can maybe move my place in Final Fantasy 14, because I'm playing it right now. I've been playing it, looking at this single fucking still.
Sure, we can take it. We can take a 5-hour. I was just wondering if you needed to take one or if you were raring to go. But let's take a brief intermission. We have been recording for over 2 hours now, so I'm going to pause the recording here, and we'll be right back. I will indeed be doing most of the talking. We're back. Okay. Now that mailbag is out of the way, let's run this big boy show for you by making it a real big boy show. Not only did we do a full mailbag and some news, it's time for a pregame for the Case Files collab, because that will be soon. I don't know when, but soon. By the way, for those of you wondering about Wanted, I may have tweeted out an image preview. The Wanted script is written and all the assets are prepped. I just need to sit down and record it and edit together. I don't know exactly when I'll do that because I don't know exactly when the event is starting, but it will be soon, TM. So look forward to that. But we're going to start by talking about the Case Files Collab pregame. We'll go to the pregame for the official Lord Elmeloy Case Files Collab. Like many mission events, like many collab events, sorry, I read that in order. This will be a mission-based event. Listen, guys, it's almost 11 o'clock. We talked about mailbag a while. So, first off, I want to warn you, this event is sort of time-gated. It follows kind of the part 1, part 2 mechanic you see in a lot of events. So, the first 10 story bits are available from the start. You will still need to complete missions to unlock some of these quests, but you can go as far as Act 10, part 1, before you have to take a hard stop. The second half opens after a week of time-ish. All right?
Ish.
Here's my big flashing light. The second week will kick off with a singular global raid. Yes, there is a raid in this event. A single one. I will not spoil the details. It'll be very fun.
I'm sorry. This poor boy. This poor fucking boy.
It's very funny. But,
it is.
Just make sure you're ready to go when it rolls over, because it will be like the first thing. Like, you'll do a story quest to lead into it, and then you'll go into the raid, and if you're not careful, it'll be fucking over, because it's an FGO raid. And like I said, it's global. It's global lives. I think it's 50 million kills.
It's gonna go pretty quick. People are gonna be ready for it.
So I want to clarify also. I say I think it'll be 50 million for us because that's the number it ended on. In JP, it started at 20 million, but that went by too fast, so they had to buff the raid with 30 more million lives. So, get ready. It's gonna be spicy. But yeah, so I just want to give everybody that heads up. Once week 2 starts, there will be a global raid. Get your shit together. Other than the raid, you're looking at 11 parts plus the epilogue. There is a gap quest, basically an unlettered quest, that fills the gap between the 2 10 splits, and Act 10 is split into 3 pieces because of A, the time gate, and B, the raid. But completing all of these parts will net you the 3-star CE, 11 St. Quartz, and a Grail. Yes, there's a Grail at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Welfare Assassin Gray will join you temporarily after Act 6. So yeah, you gotta get in there a little bit before you get your Gray. And permanently after you finish the epilogue, so you can't get her permanently until the second week. But during the event, she does get double EXP, as is good and just. Now, I mentioned this earlier, but this is technically a Lost Belt era event. To start the event, you will need to have performed the Lost Belt 3 intro, the part that lets us race shift and stuff again. So this is not necessarily going to go easy on you, at least in story. Expect mobs with 50k plus HP and mini-bosses with 150k HP or higher. Similarly, there will be some spicy servant bosses who have HP of 100 to 200,000 per break bar, with usually 1 or 2 break bars. And there will be some enemies who don't have break bars, they're just going to have big chungus HP.
Big.
I've seen some with like 500k, etc.
Oof.
The raid boss will have 500k per life, which for
man.
raid bosses is not super high, but, is still chunky. Do also expect, though, there are a fair number of no-battle pips, as you might expect from something collabing with Case Files. Yes, you will have to punch things, but also sometimes you're just going to have to talk about some shit. For your story supports to help you through these quests, you can expect to see a healthy amount of Sima Yi, Kentoki, Jack, Bunyan, and Estrella, with perhaps a slight hint of the Babbage, of the Billy Shakes, and the Assassin Emiya, who are all bonus servants, so no shit. Now, for classes, look forward to many riders, casters, and assassins in the mix, along with sabers. The final boss is a rider, and I don't really think they're that gimmicky, so you'll just have to figure it out yourself. The raid boss is an assassin, assassino, proving to you that assassins are the most bullied class. Assassino. Yeah, I think that's it, everything. There's a couple of, like, berserkers thrown in there, but mostly it's those big mob chunks and a couple of boss stuff. Now, additionally, memory is the key. Several story quests will be basically like memorial quests. They will feature returns to some of your favorite bosses or events again, which can shake up this normal class paradigm. You can be certain when you're meeting enemies from certain singularities or certain events that they will be in certain classes. The actual story text should telegraph them, like a lot of these quests, areas, or pips are named after the event or singularity they take place in, right?
Yeah.
Or otherwise, I hope that if they're in story, they introduce the fact that you're going to meet certain bosses, so be prepared. But also there are actually memorial quests unlocked by missions, which are targeting to past singularities and events. They kind of act as baby challenge quests. Complete them for the command code stuff and extra materials. No, you do not have to fight Anniversary a Saber Altar again. You may have to face a certain sun boy, though. The sunny lad. Well, you know, you got bonus servants and stuff. There is also a CQ for a lore. I will once again not detail it for you. You gotta figure that shit out on your own. It's Waver and Little Alexander, though, if you're wondering how to get in there. But that's the main story body. It should be pretty simple. There's not a lot of weird stuff. If you run into any, like, strange extra classes, again, they should be fairly telegraphed. You can be prepared. Always think on your feet and be ready for anything. Most of these quests, though, other than the big Chungus HP, are not super offensive or anything. Free quests will be mostly monoclass. A rare enemy or a boss might be a side angle class. Like, say, hypothetically, you might be doing a perfectly normal run where everybody's casters and then the boss will be an Avenger for some reason. But, luckily, they aren't very strong. This is like a reverse Oni-land. Boss HP all caps out at less than 200k. This is, by the way, a bonus damage event. So, this is a very interesting ethos. The story quests are quite chunky. The free quests are pretty slimline. You will be able to do some horse shit in these. So, I hope that makes farming easy. Sorry, itchy nose. But, to aid you in these quests, obviously, you shall have bonus servants. I have described most of them already, but they're going to be divided into 3 tiers, as is pretty huge for these things. At the first level, getting plus 100% damage and plus 50% bond are the new servants. Renez, Estrella, Gray. I do love when they give us welfares with double EXP and plus 100% damage, yes. It's very handy. The second tier is plus 50% damage and plus 20% bond. These include Saber Altar, Moriarty, Iskandar, Alexander, Waver, Da Vinci, Babbage, and Emiya Assassin. Those are some pretty good numbers. You can do some slick farming with some people in those tiers. 50% damage. The final tier is just plus 30% damage, no bond. It extends to Lancer Altar, Rhyme, Shakes, Jack, Kentucky, Bunyan, and Salieri. So, Bunyan gets to be a bonus servant. That's pretty cool. That'll make some quick farms, you know? But, yeah, honestly, it seems pretty... A pretty interesting and decent balancing effort, I think, has been made. The free quests seem like they're fairly simple and easy. Yes, sometimes the classes are a little weird, but for the most part, the damage is low and you've got bonus damage. It's the story quests and these special memorial quests that are going to give you your interesting times. By the way, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, this is a mission event to unlock all the story-free and memory quests, as well as complete your Gray. You'll have to unlock and complete all 100 missions. Most of them are pretty easy to figure. You know, beat so many enemies, collect so many of a currency, blah, blah, blah. Some of them do require you to defeat servants with specific stats, like defeat servants with mana over blah, 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 luck of A or better, etc. So you may need a guide for some help on that, or just memorize servant stats. But most of them are pretty plain. Completing all 100 missions will net you several apples, some QP, some mana prisms, Trez tickets, all of your extra copies of Gray and her Ascension mats, your 4-star foes, Assassin, Rider, and Archer skill gems, shout out, and materials such as, and I know you love to hear me do this list part, fangs, medals, cores. I think I missed a T here for steels, for Aurora steels. I wrote seal with 2 E's. That's definitely gotta be Aurora steel. Spinal fluids, hearts, octuplet crystals. I've also done another misspelling here. Google, why aren't you calling me out on this shit? I meant this to be seeds, but it's written seats with a T. Yeah, you get your soaps. Bones, spirit roots, stingers. Yes, I did say bones earlier, by the way. Lamps and lanugos, plus the usual lore, and praise the genies, the 5th fucking CE. Whew, thank God. Oh, all of Gray's mats are dropped by the raid boss. I love it. Yeah, it's almost like they've streamlined this. This is something we talked about before. Some people were talking about how some past versions of events are really brutal, and usually FGO smooths that out the next time they do that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, compare basically this year's Valentine's to last year's Valentine's for us. So, yeah, no, it's almost like FGO is developing a streamlined system where you put in the reps and you get the stuff done. Anyway, some of these missions will require you to kill what are called rare enemies. These are a chance-based spawn, but unlike GUDAGUDA, they are not an extra spawn. They are enemies who appear in a normal slot, but at random. I do believe the way this is written in the guides and stuff is that sometimes if you don't get a rare spawn, you have waves with just 2 enemies. So, take it or leave it. But, good stuff. The CE available in the mission list in the store increases the rate of appearing by 15%, 30 max limit break. So, just slap them on there if you want your extra chance. It probably caps out at 100% or something. Get in there and punch stuff. Yes, they are also only in the third wave, so you don't need to worry about them until you get to that point. Very, very reliable system. Speaking of that store, clearing out that store will net you EXPs and foes, as usual, Saber, Rider, Caster, and Berserker statues, and additional mats, which you'll love, that include gears, stakes, let me reiterate that, stakes, proofs, horns, pages, fucking needs pages, man, bells, feathers, scarabs, and wine, plus 4 CE copies. No Loth, nightmare stakes are super important to me, so I spelled them correctly. I know what I'm about. But, yeah, it looks like it'll be a good store, and like I said, you get 4 copies in the store, and then the 5th is in the mission list. Thank Christ. And, of course, to get all the shop currency, there are banner CEs. These will appear on Raid Up with a banner that includes Sima Yi, Renez on permanent Raid Up, Babbage, and a rolling Raid Up between Estrella and Emmy Assassin. Reminder, the new ruler, Estrella, will be permanent after this, whereas Sima Yi/Renez will not. So consider your rows carefully. That's basically it. It's a mission event, so it's not as simple as I make it sound, but it's pretty simple. I know some of you are feeling the burnout from our current mission event, but this one looks like it's going to have a lot of fun stuff and be pretty clear-cut. Let's figure out the Whodunnit. And like I said, I'm pretty excited for some of these. There's some interesting stuff in these quests and story. And I just can't wait for the people who don't know about the raid already to see it. that talking about FGO memories earlier, right? That's going to be a fun night on Discord.
Oh, yeah.
When that goes live. But, yeah, there it is. And like I said, we will, I'll hit y'all up with Wanted probably sometime next week. And when we do this again, expect a welfare corner on Gray, probably, because you can get her temporarily in that first week. Maybe not. I might write it and weigh it. We do have, next week to do the Teach Me and the Fan Servant Friday as well. So we'll see how our schedule is. And, there will probably be a So You Didn't Get That 5-star on Estrella, though. Yes, Robin got it. That will definitely happen next week for sure, because Estrella will be out with that banner. Well, assuming that we aren't bamboozled, and the event does actually happen by the 30th, I'm pretty sure it will, but it might not yet. You never know. Maybe it'll start that night. But, yeah, that's my pregame. I'm actually, especially after reading about it, I'm super jazzed for this event. I really like its themes.
I don't know too much about actually what's happening in here, but, I like the CASE files, so...
Yeah. Like I said, I'm just talking about, like, the just looking at the different quests and seeing this, like, memory quest. Fight this enemy, fight that enemy. I'm like, man, there's a lot of cool stuff we're doing here.
I shall be excited.
Well, that's entirely possible. I could, in fact, get 2 Renez, no Luvia. I don't really need a waiver who's also a rider to spoil Wanted slightly. Trimou's cool, though. Yeah, you may or may not want to watch Case Files in preparation for this, because I do believe that this event will spoil some Case Files shit if you haven't watched it. It is true, there will be some boss fights that you will be doing the how many times you have to teach you this lesson. Because, I'm not gonna lie, some of these are reused. But there's some funny ones in there as well. And just, good luck, have fun. Let's solve mysteries. I will not say, let's split up, gang, because we always know that when we do that, that's when shit goes bad.
Yeah,
Never split the fucking gang, Fred. What the fuck is wrong with you? Listen, guys, Omega's watched a lot of Scooby-Doo in his time.
Man, I've watched generations of Scooby-Doo. That is fucking wild out sometimes.
Well, yeah, it was on TV on reruns. The OG version was on TV and reruns when I was a kid, and then they keep making more. I was always really fond of 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, though I feel like that wasn't super successful. But A Pup Named Scooby-Doo was the new hotness when I was a kid. That was very meta.
That was so good. Red Herring. Like, I didn't get Red Herring until I was an adult, and I was just like, oh.
Yeah, that stuff still happens all the time. It took me a long while to get Red Herring as well. It was Red Herring! No, was it Fred, you fucking moron? Scooby-Doo and the Brew Brothers. Those were also always the best Scooby-Doo movies in that era. I remember Scooby-Doo in the Ghoul School.
Oh, I remember Ghoul
Which is
School.
also, by the way, I just want to say, probably super formative to certain people. Just saying. Just saying, Monster Girl fans. I know what you about.
I know what I'm about.
Good shit. I got at least one no comment in chat. People know what's up. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Scooby-Doo. We were here to talk about Let's Talk FGO. That is done. So, I will remind you, like I said, tune in next week. There should probably, definitely for patrons if the event hasn't started, but hopefully for the public, the Wanted for Sima Yi /Renez will be up. Like I said, I have everything ready. I just need to shoot it. That won't take me too long. I just need to find the right time to do it. If there's any other exotic news, we'll be sure to hit you up. Stay tuned next week for a new show. I think the important thing to remind people about for future stuff is that if you're listening to the show live on YouTube, depending on when you're listening to it, we may be doing What's Up Live later that day. We're doing What's Up Live again. We did it last week. We're going to do it again this week. So, that'll be what we're doing. So if you're shocked by a notification or something in the middle of this episode, yeah, we're doing it live. So keep your timeline and keep your awareness, keep your timeline. Oh, that's really everything. Lucky, do you have any further thoughts, questions, or feelings about this collab or about FGO this week?
No, and no.
All right, let's do the outro. Lucky wants to go play more Final Fantasy 14, at which I mean go play. I mean play without having to listen to me yammer in his ears.
I will not say he's wrong.
I just said this. I know what you're about. Much like I know what I'm about. I'll talk about the things I'm about on What's Up tomorrow. Anywho's, it's time for the outro. Which means I have to let you know that if you like this video, you should give it a like. If you have any comments, leave in the comment section down below. Give me your sweet commentos. You can also hit us up on our Discord. That link is, as always, in the video description and on our channel page. You, too, can join in all the many jokes and the Discord community experience and have people yell about raids or banners in the middle of the night. The Discord never sleeps, literally. Sometimes I sleep. Additionally, if you're new here and haven't already, please subscribe to our channel so you can always get our latest videos. And even if you're already subscribed, make sure to hit that bell for notifications so you always know when we post a new video. That lets you know when we stream, because we do that now. And I've done at least one gorilla stream since we started streaming again, which was completely unannounced and unplanned. So, notifications, they help. Additionally, sometimes Delightworks are animals, and they make Omega post wanteds in the middle of the night. Notifications help you with that as well. So you always know when we post a new video. I can make rhymes. You can also join our channel membership. That helps support us, gives you access to all those sweet, sweet emotes that Lucky is talking about, gives you that cool membership badge, and helps support us through the dark times. Click that join button or that link in the description below. But of course, our final bit of shilling is to remind you that, like we said at the front of the show, you can support us on Patreon. You can get access to this episode in audio format, downloadable, for as little as $1 a month or $10 a year. You can support us at higher levels to get access to topic polls, videos early, listen to the show live, and more, and lots of other goodies. And it really helps support us. And it will help us buy whatever that thing Lucky talked about with tablets, help me buy a monitor that I use to be cool, lots of other things. It makes us more cool, and it makes you cool by extension. So be cool. Join our Patreon today. Or be uncool. I really wish I need a scary violin button for that. I need a scare chord button for when I say something existentially dreadful. Anyway, that's our show for this week. Like I said before, we'll see you next week for more Let's Talk FGO, where hopefully something will happen. We'll definitely be able to talk about that stream at least. That stream happening.
Stream happening.
Will the event happen right away after the stream? Who knows? Will Mafia be ludicrous? Probably.
Probably will, actually, now that I think about it.
I would assume so. Anyway, let's get out of here, Lucky. Bye, everybody.
Bye!